Absolutely. So the session is recorded. For those that stay to the end of the session, you get the recording and all the materials. All right. Now, our session today will be centered around the strategies to transition from a Tier 4 student dependent visa to a skilled worker visa. All right. And I'll share some critical insights into how you can start to position yourself to ensure that you're able to achieve success at the end of the day. All right. Now, for those that joined our session earlier, you'll get the materials. Okay. You'll get them later today or tomorrow. All right. So just be patient. You'll receive all the materials and everything we promised. Okay. Now, for those of you in today's session, like I mentioned earlier, for those that stay till the end, you're going to get the recording, you get the materials. And myself and Efemena, the co-founder of Tenalytics, will be sharing some key insights. Welcome to Lulape from London. Okay. I'm joining in the call from Manchester as well in the UK. And let's get started. So I'll share my slides and we'll pick up from there. Okay. So let's get started. All right. So like I mentioned, the session will be handled and delivered by myself and the co-founder of Tenalytics, that's Efemena, who'll be joining us, much later to introduce how to get remote jobs and other job opportunities you have across the UK and so on and so forth. Now, first of all, who are we and what do we do at Tenalytics? Okay. For us at Tenalytics, the focus is to help people of the Black community and Africans to transition into tech. And we do this by providing the best training, premium training across the tech ecosystem, especially within the data space. So from data analytics to business analysis to data engineering to HR analytics, financial analytics, power platform engineering, and so many other areas. And one of the things we pride ourselves on is on the quality of the professionals and facilitators we bring to bear. So we bring the best of the best in the industry, those that have gone through the system or they are currently still working within the tech ecosystem. So whenever they provide training and that hand-holding, they're actually providing that from a place of understanding and experience and share insights and ideas into the industry and how you can also transition. Because I get a lot of questions, I get a ton of questions around how can I transition? I'll be trying to transition and get a job. All right. So some of our facilitators cut across major organizations like McKinsey, Google, PwC, KPMG, the big fours generally, Deloitte, and so on and so forth. Okay. And our programs are structured in a way that you know how you're going to start and you know where the program would end eventually. And over the years, we have helped over 500 people. That's last year. We've helped over 500 people, and in total, about 1,000 people transition from the classroom to getting a job. So just like Isosa introduced earlier, my name is Adeza Suleiman. I'm a data analytics expert. I've worked in the industry for close to a decade across 5 different sectors, from data analytics to management consulting, professional services, educational technology, energy, and currently automobile in the UK. I'll be sharing my experience with you as we move along the session as well. And that's Efemena, who is the business data support lead with the post office in the UK. He's also worked as a global business systems analyst with Teleflex in Ireland, as a business intelligence developer with DPD, and also close to a decade experience as well. And of course, Efemena will be coming in a little bit later to talk to us about some key areas with regards to the job search across Europe and across the globe generally. Okay. What can't you access? Somebody's saying I can't access something. Right, just to be sure that you can all hear me. If you can hear me, I'm audible. Just type in a yes into the chat so I know we're all on the same page. Just type in a yes. Fantastic. Thank you very much, guys. Okay, so let's move on. Now, when you do amazing work, your work starts to get recognized. So some of the major success stories we had from last year, moving up to 2023, was, like I mentioned, helping over 500 people make that switch and make the transition, because there's a big gap between how you learn, what you learn, and getting a job within the tech ecosystem. So we've helped over 500 people in 2022 across the UK, in the US, in Canada, Asia, Africa, in Europe, and we'll be sharing some of the success stories, like I mentioned. And our participants, people that have gone through our program, work with some of the biggest organizations across the globe. And for those of you in the UK, you know the Frasers Group, HSBC, Cognizant, Revolut, the Post Office, Autoglass, Belron, the NHS. The NHS happens to be that organization that has recruited the highest number of our alumni, okay? And we'll be sharing how you can also leverage strategies to getting jobs with the NHS, because the NHS is one of the largest organizations that give sponsorship with regards to organizations with a license to sponsor. Okay, so if you are looking for sponsorship, organizations like the NHS, Frasers Group are some of the companies you'd want to look out for as regards you getting a job here in the UK. And I'll be sharing that with you. And across Africa, across the US, in Canada, we have our participants working in KPMG, Procter & Gamble, Uber, and so many other organizations across the globe. Okay, now, in 2022, we had the Business Day also feature us in one of their publications, highlighting how Tenalytics have helped Africans across 4 continents to land tech jobs. Okay, we had a data hackathon that held in 2022 towards the end, around December last year, and we had five finalists. The participants cut across Africans across the globe. And it was so amazing because you had Africans from Nigeria, Africans across the UK, Africans in Canada, Europe, all participating in that hackathon. Now, the hackathon involved a case study that was tied to the SDG goals. All right. So how do you solve this problem within the health sector? And data was given to everybody. They went back, solved the problem, came up and presented their findings. And we had the panel of judges from some of the biggest companies, from Google, from Lloyds, the Lloyds Banking Group here in the UK, panel members giving feedback and, eventually giving scores to the finalists. We had 5 finalists. 4 Nigerians and 1 Ghanaian. The Ghanaian came second, and it was absolutely stunning and amazing. So once you get the slides at the end of today's session, take out time to read the article. You can also go on YouTube and just search Tenalytics Data Hackathon. All right, and you see the amazing presentations from the finalists and the feedback from the judges as well. And of course, we also had the Business Day featuring us, talking about the hackathon, and PR Fire, which is a major publication in Europe, in the UK specifically, reiterating Tenalytics' commitments to helping Africans land tech jobs in Europe. All right. Now, today's session, like I mentioned, would center around identifying in-demand skills. Okay, the skills that will give you the jobs available. All right, so you want to switch, you're currently doing your master's. How do you start to prepare for that eventuality? I know a couple of people graduated this past week, and the next question is, what next? What do I do? Do I have the skills? Because one of the key areas, or one of the key things you realize is you learn little or nothing in your master's program. So if you're in the UK for your master's, you learn little or nothing with regards to what is applicable in the job market. So you're learning theories, you're writing projects, you're writing coursework, And at the end of the day, you realize that the skills you've learned are theoretical and not applicable in the real world business, solving business problems. Okay. So how do you identify the jobs that are available and that are in demand? Okay, that's you have the skills, you easily get the job at the snap of a finger. Number two, how to search for and land sponsored jobs in the UK. So I'll share some strategies, how to identify companies that have the sponsorship license, where to apply to these jobs, and even understanding that for you to apply to transition or make the switch, it's a point-based system and you need a specific number of points to make that switch. And how do you position yourself with the right skills within the space of 3 to 4 months and start to apply to those jobs? And also we'll talk about our upcoming program and the internship we have coming up as well. All right. Now let's get to the very first part of our session today. And just to get a feel of everybody on the call. So if you're excited to start the session with us today, just type ready into the chat. So just type ready, ready, ready. I'm ready to go. And let's kick off our session. Fantastic, Habiba, ready to go. Ready to go. Brilliant, Shola. Okay. Now, how do you identify in-demand skills that would land you the in-demand jobs? Okay. Now, what I've also done for you is on my slide, I've indicated specific links that you can click on and it takes you to the website where you can get more details and also get to read up on very key information that are necessary to making the switch. Now, first of all is you need to understand that switching to a Tier 2 visa requires 70 points. It's a point-based system. You need to get 70 points. And these 70 points are categorized by various different criteria. I'll share them with you. I have them on my slide, but we'll also go to the website and see what the different criteria mean and how you can achieve these 70 points at the end of the day. So that's the very first thing you need to realize. So it's like you writing an exam or you having certain documents, and for you to eventually make the switch, you must score 70 points. Okay, so that's the goal and that's the target. So how do you achieve 70 points? Okay, so first of all, when applying to jobs, you have to be a little bit more deliberate and strategic. So you're not applying to any job. You're not applying to all the jobs that are available. You look at the type of job you're applying to. You also look at the company offering the job. Is this a company that sponsors? Do they have a sponsorship license? If they don't, then you might want to look at another company. Now, if they do offer sponsorship, but that particular job you're applying to does not come with visa sponsorship, you also want to find out for this particular job title or this job role, in the future, can I ask for job sponsorship? Is it possible? Can I ask my organization to sponsor my visa and they would oblige me when they see how good I am? Okay, so these are some of the key questions you need to ask yourself. Now, one of the major criteria you'd look at is the offer of the job you are applying to from an approved sponsor. So meaning that, does the company have the license to sponsor you? That's the first question. Because if you apply to a company that does not have the license, the sponsorship license, there is nothing on earth, there's nothing you can do to eventually get the sponsorship for them. So the first thing is, do they have the sponsorship license? If they do, you get 20 points. Remember, we are going to 70 points. That's what we're going to. Sorry, if you're saying something.
Oh, okay. So sorry about that. No worry.
Oh, sorry about that. I think if he mistakenly unmuted himself. Okay, so let's go on. All right. Now, the first thing you want to look at is, can the company sponsor? If they have a sponsorship license, and I'll show you how to check. If they have a sponsorship license, it's 20 points. Okay. Now, the second aspect is, does the job fall into the appropriate skill level. Okay, the appropriate skill level. Now, they haven't specifically defined what the appropriate skill level is, but what you are looking at as the appropriate skill level is RQF level 3. And RQF level 3 simply means the Regulated Qualifications Framework. RQF level 3. Okay, so you don't need to bother yourself too much with these codes. Now, as long as the job you're applying to is a data analyst role, a business analyst role, where you need, they categorize as a framework, okay, the Regulated Qualifications Framework, the RQF, that's the framework used to, code those different jobs. Now, if the job falls into the category of A level, so when you see RQF 3, it is categorized as A level. Okay, so it's a skilled job. It is a skilled job. Literally, that's what it means. It's a skilled job. So if the job falls within that category, you also get another 20 points, and that's 40. Now, do you speak English at the required level? Which means, do you have IELTS? Have you written IELTS? If you haven't written IELTS, are you doing your master's? If you are doing your master's or you have completed your master's, it means you satisfied the English language requirements. That's the meaning. All right. If you've done your master's or you are doing your master's or you've completed your master's, you would have satisfied the English language requirements, and that gives you additional 10 points. So now you have 50. So out of 70, you have 20 points left. And how do you fulfill the remaining 20? That's the question you need to start to ask. Now, the next 3 criteria falls around the salary range. So when you're applying to jobs and you get an offer, or before you apply, if you have where they've written the job offer, the salary, you want to look very closely at what the salary says. And that's simply because if the salary falls within 20,000 to 23,000, you don't receive any points for that. 0 points. Okay, 0 points. So which means if you earn around 20 to 23,000 per annum, you receive 0 points, right? Now, if the salary falls within above 23,040 to 25,599, you get 10 points. And anything above or 25,600 and above, which in my opinion should be your target. Your target should be jobs that will pay you a minimum of above 25,600. So you're looking at 26,000, 27,000, 30,000, 35K per annum and above. That's what you're looking for. If you have a job that is above 25,600 per annum, you would get another 20 points. And with this, you would have gotten your 70 points. All right. You have other criteria at the bottom. I'll talk about the next one, which is the shortage occupation list. Now, the shortage occupation list is a list that contains jobs that are very high in demand, which means there's a shortage across the UK, in locations in England, in Ireland, in Scotland, Northern Ireland, and so on, right? So if you have that jobs that falls within the shortage occupation list, if you apply to a job role that falls within the shortage occupation list, you get another 20 points, okay? So let's assume the job you've applied to, you received an offer, and the offer is £20,000 per annum, which is quite low, and the job falls within the shortage occupation list, you still make the cut. Because where you miss a point, or where you miss any points from the salary, your remuneration per annum, you can make that point up, by that particular role falling within the shortage occupation list. And we'll go to the gov.uk website and see the shortage occupation list, and we'll also see the different jobs, the job roles that falls within the shortage occupation. All right. And of course, if your educational qualification is PhD, you get 10 points. And if it is PhD in a STEM subject, you get 20 points. So these are the criteria that are critical for you to achieve 70 points. Okay, so that's our target for today. How do I get 70? And I've showed you a couple of criteria you need to take note of. The job must be at the appropriate skill level. It must be from a company that has the license to sponsor. You must meet the English language requirements. And for anybody who is doing the master's in the UK, you would have met that requirement, all right? You want to focus on jobs that pays over 25,600 per annum, because that gives you additional points. And if that job is also within the shortage occupation list, you get additional 20 points, okay? So I'm not sure I can spell your name, but if you have a question, please feel free to ask your question, okay? Feel free to ask your question. Just drop it into the chat, and then we'll take your questions from there. Okay, drop your question in the chat. We'll have Q&A sessions, and then we'll take your questions from there. Okay, so now these are the criteria. And of course, like I mentioned, you have the link. All you need to do is, once you get the slide, just click on the link, and it takes you to the website. And I hope you can still see my screen. Yes. So it takes you to the gov.uk website that talks about the point-based immigration system. And if you scroll down, you'd see the criteria. You'd see a couple of, write-up. You can read that easily. The skilled worker route. Okay, you read about it. And then you'd see how to get the total of 70 points. Okay, the criteria you need to focus on, the ones you might not really need to focus on, and so on and so forth. Okay, so you take out time to read it a little bit, understand it before you start to move into the job application process. You are not applying, you're not applying to just any job you see. You are a little bit more deliberate and strategic. Okay, now, having said this, the next step would be looking at is the shortage occupation. How do I identify sponsors? I'll show you how to do all of that. Don't worry. We'll see how to get all of that. Okay, the shortage occupation list, we're going to get there, and I'll show you how to leverage the platform to get every single thing that you need. Now, once you've known your target is 70, you can easily start to calculate when you start to apply to jobs. Okay, you want to apply to jobs that are in high demand, which means that if the job is on the shortage occupation, fantastic. That is automatic 20 points. Okay, if the job falls within the shortage occupation, that is automatic 20 points. Does that mean I cannot secure a job without a master's or PhD? Of course you can. Of course you can, Moji. You don't need to have a master's or have a PhD. I think I just listed, these are the things you need to look out for. Okay, so you see the points, we talked about them. Can the company sponsor? If they can, 20 points. If does the job fall within the shortage occupation, another 20 points. Is the job on the appropriate skill level, RFQ 3, another 20 points. Do you meet the English language requirements? That's 10 points. What's the salary range? Is it above 25,600? Another 20 points. Okay, so you don't need to have masters or a PhD. If you get the 70 points without that, the degree is not relevant. Okay, now let's move into the shortage occupation, because this is where you get to see the jobs that are in demand. Okay, now to get to the shortage occupation, I've also kept the link in here. All right, I've kept the link for you to access the shortage occupation list, and then we'll see employers, how you can look for employers that have the license to sponsor. Because now you're not just applying to jobs anyhow, you're a bit more strategic when applying to jobs. So let's go to the shortage occupation list, and let's start to look at the shortage occupation list. And of course, this is the government website, the gov.uk, and that's where you'd see the shortage occupation, okay? It was last updated on the 15th of May, 2023. Again, these are jobs that currently you have low, you don't have enough supply, okay? The demand is high, meaning that if you have the skills, you can easily apply to get a job, all right? But the supply is not as high or does not meet the demand at the moment, okay? Now let's look at a couple of them and I'll take you to where you should focus on a little bit more and I'll tell you the reason why, okay? So you'd see the codes, the occupation codes, 1181, health services and public health manager and director jobs, of course, areas where there's a shortage across the UK, from Scotland to Wales to Northern Ireland, England, and so on. Residential day and domiciliary care. So the care workers, those that work in the health sector and so on, it also falls within the shortage occupation, and that's the code 1242. You have the chemical scientists, jobs in the nuclear industry. And you can see this is only, the shortage is only available, only exists in Scotland. All right, the shortage only exists in Scotland. So again, biological scientists, biochemists, and so on. So these are the different occupations that are on the shortage occupation list with their respective codes. However, where I want us to focus on a little bit, because all these jobs, for example, to become a chemical scientist, I have to go to the university, do a master's or do a BSc, spend 4 years, spend 3 years, considerable number of years to learn the skill to get a role as a chemical scientist in the nuclear industry or a biological scientist and so on and so forth. So I'm more concerned about looking for a skill that I can learn within the space of a few months and then start to apply to jobs. All right. Now, the focus would be on 2135 and 2136. 2135 and 2136. IT business analysts, architects, system designers, you have this particular job role on the shortage list across the entire UK, from England to Scotland to Wales and Northern Ireland. And of course, 2136, you have the programmers, software development professionals, and so on and so forth. Okay, now these codes can be distilled a little bit further, all right? Because you ask questions around, okay, I'm currently learning this particular skill, but I can't find the code here. Does that mean it doesn't fall within the shortage occupation list? Of course it does. But I want us to take note of these two codes. 2135, if you can write it down, write it down. 2135 and 2136. All right? Now, one last thing I'll show you before I leave here, the shortage occupation list, is you can also check yourself. So if you don't know the job occupation code, so you apply to a job and they tell you that your role is a database analyst role, and you're not sure the code for that role, or if it falls within the shortage occupation, all you can do is go to the ONS occupation coding tool. So I just click on this link, all right? And it takes me to another page, and all I'll do is to search for the job title in here. So let's assume the job title is database analyst. That's the job title. I want to get the code of that job title. So I just enter that there and I click on search, and it will give me the code, and I'll see if it falls within the codes that I want, all right? And of course, you can see the results. The results of your search are listed below. Now, if you notice, you have multiple categories of the same job title. And what this simply means is when you see 2135 and 2136, it embodies a couple of other job roles. Take, for example, you have analyst database. This falls within the code of what? 2136. 2136, analyst database. Now, if I click on analyst database, all right, the job code 2136 ordinarily just says programmers and software development professionals. So on the face of it, I'll think that this is only available for what? Programmers. However, if I'm a database analyst, the job code 2136 still applies to an analyst job role. Okay, and this is how you can check. Like I mentioned, you come here, search, click, enter the keywords, click on search, and it takes you to where the different results will pop up, and you can see the job code yourself. Okay, so once you've seen the shortage occupation, and we've taken note of 2135, 2136, we'll then go into the companies that can sponsor. All right, because we're more strategic. We are more strategic. We are trying to do what? Apply to jobs. And we are applying to jobs by looking at the shortage occupation, because I know I'm going to get 20 points if I get a job within the shortage occupation list. And I want to apply to a job from a company that can sponsor, which gives me additional 20 points. And that's, I know I can get a sponsorship visa at the end of the day. Now, employers with sponsorship certificates. Let's start to check and let's start to see where we can get these employers. And the best sites to go to, you can go to the gov.uk and you'd see the list, but it's not very interactive. A more interactive site would be the uktersponsors.co.uk. So if I click on this link, which will be made available to everybody, okay, if I click on the link, it takes me to this page. All right, and I can start to search uktersponsors.co.uk. I'm going to copy that, type it into the chat for those that need this. All right, so for all the links, they're on the slides. So once you get the slides, you have access to all the links I have opened so far. All right, and I can also post them in the chat as well, just so the point-based, I'm just going to copy that, post it in the chat. So we all have access to all the links. And like I mentioned, they are also available on the slide itself. Okay, so I'll copy this and I would also post it into the chat. All right, so you have access to that. Now, I want to check for a company. I'm applying to a particular organization. Okay, and the name of the organization is Deloitte, for example, Deloitte. I can check if they have the license to sponsor. So I'll just simply come to company and I'll type the name of the company. So Deloitte. All right, I'll type what? Deloitte. I hope I got the spelling correct. Yes, I think so, Deloitte. And then I'll just click on search. Okay, so I'll click on search. And the moment I click on search, it gives me a result. Company Deloitte, main tier, they have a premium worker, a premium. So they have a premium sponsorship license. So it means that if I get a job offer from Deloitte, I don't need to worry myself. I can get a sponsorship visa from what? From Deloitte. Okay, and they were added when? On the 4th of August, 2013. This is how you can easily check. If I apply to another company, and let's assume the name of the company is, I know Frasers have sponsorship, but let's say, let me type in 3. Okay, and let's check. And I click on search. All right. Okay, so I'm going to have multiple. So let's see. So you'd see 3. I want to search for a company without sponsorship. So let me just type Adeza. So let's assume I have a company. Let's just put, I have a company, Adeza and Co. And I hit enter. So if there's no sponsorship, you're not going to see any results. And you'd get, sorry, no matching records found. All right. So this is a very easy way, fantastic way of you checking for the sponsorship list. All right. See the companies that have the license to sponsor. So once you get an offer, all you need to do, come here enter the name of the company, search, because some organizations would not indicate that they can sponsor. But guess what? They actually have the license to sponsor. The strategy we always advise people to take in that particular regard is go in there, accept the offer, go into the company and showcase how good you are. Once you have done that, you can start to negotiate and ask for sponsorship. And you'll be surprised that they would give you a sponsorship. They'll sponsor your visa at the end of the day. All right. So you can search. I'm also going to search and show you. I'm also going to show you how you can search for jobs that are from companies that have the license to sponsor, and the jobs also gives you the opportunity to get your 70 points for the skilled worker visa. So Michael is saying, can I search for Millennium Support? Okay, so let's check. But you have all the links to check yourself. I mean, okay, so Millennium Supports. Millennium is double N. Millennium Supports. Let's check and see. Yes, they do sponsor. You can see that. Millennium Supports, they're in Wakefield, Industry is Social Work. They have a skilled worker A rating. They were added last year, all right, November 2022. So this is how you can easily check. So Michael, if you have an offer, then you are good to go. All right, so this is how you check, okay? So now that we are moving step by step. We started by checking the points. I need 70 points, right? What are the criteria? I've seen them. One of the criteria is the company must have the license to sponsor. I know where to check for companies with sponsorship license. You come to uktsponsors.co.uk, you can search. I also know the shortage occupation list, and we have narrowed down our focus to two codes. 2135, IT business analysts, system designers, and 2136, for programmers and software development, and so on and so forth, which they are very broad codes that also encompasses so many other job titles. And I'll show you as we move on. So once I do that, I know I can come here and search for jobs for companies that offer sponsorship jobs, and so on and so forth. Now, once I've done this, the next logical step you would ask is, Adeza, sorry, let me go back to my slide. The next logical step you would ask me is, Adeza, how do I start to apply to get these jobs? Okay, how do I apply, search for a job that offers visa sponsorship? How do I search for jobs from companies that have the license to sponsor? I'm going to touch on two key websites, all right? And that's what you have on the screen. The very first one I'll touch on is UK Hired. UK Hired. Number one, I'm going to touch on this. I'm going to touch on this, number one, and then I'll touch on company jobs, number two. Okay, UK Hired, number one, company jobs, number two. Also, Indeed, LinkedIn, and UK Visa Jobs are very, very good when you're searching for sponsorship jobs. Okay, I'll be very honest with you. Sponsorship jobs are available, but sometimes you'll have to go the extra mile to search for them and get them. Okay, for some companies, they would indicate that they would sponsor you. So they make it easy for you to apply, all right? For some companies, they have the license to sponsor, but they would not indicate that this job comes with visa sponsorship. But you would have checked and you do your finding and find out that this company has the license to sponsor, which means if I get a job in this company, I show them that I'm good, I'm very good, within a few months, I can start to ask and negotiate for a visa sponsorship, all right? And Efemena would give you his own specific story, his own personal experience of how something like that applied to him. So let's go to UK Hired and let's start to search. Now, when you look at UK Hired, it gives you the opportunity to search for jobs that falls within the category of the code 2135 and 2136. 2135 and 2136. And we're going to look at a few of them falling within the realm of data science, business analysis, because you saw that, IT business analyst, and also data engineering, data analysis, and so on and so forth. Okay, and you would see yourself clearly the requirements of those jobs and how you can start to apply to those jobs. And if you meet the 70 points requirement, that's one of the things UK Hired would do for you. So I'm just going to go to my browser and I'll simply type UK Hired. So ukhired.com/jobs. Okay, ukhired.com/jobs. Okay, so I'll just go there, enter the website, and it tells me that there are 271 jobs with visa sponsorship. 271 jobs with visa sponsorship. You remember the two codes I talked about, 2135, 2136. That's the focus for us. And the reason why we are focusing on that is because I don't have to learn for a year. I don't have to learn for 2 years. To become a business analyst, for example, it would take me just 4 months or less. All right? I'll work on my projects. I'll learn for 2 to 3 months in class, working on projects. And once I'm done with that, I have an internship, I have a capstone project, and I have the skills to get a job as a business analyst. So let's start with that. And I'll come to the job title and I'll search for business analyst. And of course, as you search, you see the drop down. I'm just going to click on business analyst and let's wait and see. All right. So we have 6 jobs with visa sponsorship. So we're going to look at a couple of them and then we'll see the requirements, we'll see what is needed, what is necessary, and how you can also start to learn these skills to apply to get these jobs. So the very first one is business intelligence, Power BI analyst and developer. Okay, business intelligence, Power BI analyst and developer. For this particular role, business intelligence can be applied to if you have data analytics skills. So you're a data analyst, you know how to use Excel, Power BI, SQL, SQL, you can apply to this job. Okay, so I'm going to click on this, the very first one. Okay, and when I click on it, you can see the salary, £65,000 per year, which is way above the average, meaning that it's a fantastic role. Again, it's in London, and this is a key thing you also have to take note of. If you're applying to, if you want to get visa sponsorship, you cannot constrain yourself to a specific location. You should be willing to relocate. If you're in Manchester, you should be willing to relocate to London. If you're in London, you should be willing to relocate to Bradford. If you're in Bradford, you should be willing to relocate to Portsmouth, and so on and so forth. You should be flexible with your relocation. So what I'm simply going to do, it's a hybrid role, meaning that there are some times you go to the office and there are some times you don't go to the office. What are the skills required? That's what I want us to check. What are the skills required for this particular job role? Okay, so you need to have Power BI, SQL, and data modeling. Power BI, SQL, and data modeling. Okay, very, very important. As a business intelligence analyst, that is your major job. Your major job is to do what? Work with Power BI and SQL. Power BI and what? SQL, SQL. Now, one thing I love with ukhired.com is it gives you the occupation title, the code. Remember the code, the shortage occupation code. All right, so this job falls within the shortage occupation, 2136. 2136. If you remember the code 2136, it doesn't have anything to do with business intelligence. Okay, so let's go back and see. And this is why I said you must always check. Don't just take the word for it. You have to what? Check. Go to the website and ensure that you check. So let's go back to the shortage occupation list and let's see 2136. What does 2136 say? The code 2136 says programmers and software development professionals, all right? However, if you remember clearly, I also mentioned that this particular job code encompasses other job roles, all right? So 2136, which for programmers, software development professionals, if you look at the other job for the business intelligence analyst, Power BI analyst, the code is also 2136. So this means that it is on the shortage occupation, automatic 20 points. And you can see that here, job in a shortage occupation list, automatic 20 points. All right. The job is also within the appropriate skill level, which is additional 20 points. It is offered by a licensed sponsor, meaning that the company offering this job, eFinancial Careers, okay, this might be the recruiter, okay, but the company offering the job itself is a licensed sponsor. They have the license to sponsor. So it's 20 points. And the salary is 65,000, which is far above the 25,600. So you get another 20 points. So what this means is if you apply to this job, you get what? 80 points. And UK Hired is telling you that you now have 80 points and can apply for the skilled worker visa. Okay, so you have to be specific and deliberate about the type of jobs you are applying to. All right, so you look at the different criteria. The criteria we started with, you can see them here, and they have been listed. Okay, the skill level 20, license sponsor 20, the job, the salary is above 25,600, 20 points. It is also on the shortage occupation list, another 20 points. Okay, now we're going to look at another job very quickly. We'll look at another job very quickly, and let's check just the business analyst. Okay, let's check business analyst. All right, and then we'll check data engineer and some other roles. The deadline for this is in 2 days, 24th of July. The salary is 44,000. The company, the Skipton Business Society. Of course, let's also see the requirements. What is required for this particular role? All right. Are you a change professional? Are you passionate about T-shaped skills, which means do you have broad skills across multiple areas? And do you have some specific skills within specific areas? Do you know how to use Agile, Scrum and Kanban, or the waterfall methodology, okay, for delivering monitoring teams across projects? All right. Do you understand the business change requirements? So you look at the different, job requirements, and these are things that you can learn easily in a business analysis program with Tenalytics, easily. So once you look at the requirements, all right, you then go to check. Go to check and see, if I apply to this role, can I get a skilled worker visa? And I'll simply scroll all the way to the bottom. And then, absolutely. First of all, it falls, and this is the code, is the business analyst. And if you remember, the IT business analyst has the shortage occupation code of 2135. 2135. So the salary is also above 25,600, is on the shortage occupation. The job is from a licensed sponsor. So you have another 80 points, meaning that you can apply for a skilled worker visa. But we're going to check on another role very quickly, and then we'll move on, and I'll show you companies and the number of sponsorship they have given. So when you're applying to a company, you look at their trend and ask yourself the question, for this company that has given just about 10 sponsorship, if I apply, what are the chances that I'll be the 11th person that they sponsor? So you want to apply to jobs where you've seen that the company has considerable number of sponsorship given. Okay, and that's why I talked about the NHS earlier. And we're going to look at a couple of them and see. All right, let's quickly check data engineer, for example, data engineer. Okay, and I'll simply click on data engineer, and let's wait for the list to filter. Okay, so data engineer, I'm just going to wait a bit. All right. So currently on the platform, you have 3 jobs with visa sponsorship for data engineering roles. This is £135,000 per annum. And data engineers, I'll tell you for a fact that this is one of the career paths that has a very high demand in the UK. Myself and Efemena, every other day we get calls from recruitment agencies here in the UK telling us, do you have people you want to recommend? Do you want to join and get a job as a data engineer, and so on and so forth? And we have been recommending a couple of our participants to them, okay? So data engineer, let's click on this and see. If I click on this, you can see the salary itself per annum, 135,000 per annum, okay? The job is in London. The deadline is on the 30th of August. And if we scroll down a bit, you'd see what you'd be doing, or let's see, who are you, all right? Who are you, which means the requirements of this job itself. You're going to learn how to use you'll be helping them with a cloud computing infrastructure as a data engineer, AWS, Amazon Web Services. You're going to create data lakes. You're going to use Python to create your data pipelines. You have to be a very good SQL developer because you're going to build data warehouses and databases. And of course, you're going to also use CI/CD for version control and so on and so forth. And these are the things you need to have to apply to this job. So the question is, if I look at all these skills and the requirements and I compare it with a curriculum of what I will learn in a data engineering program, can I learn these skills and actually apply to this job? And the answer is absolutely yes, you can. And very quickly, let's go to the points again. And you also score 80 points if you apply to this job. And you can see the job code 2136. And this is where you can't take the job role. You can't take the code, the shortage occupation code, just the way it is and say, okay, because it says programmer and web development, and sorry, I beg your pardon, programmer and software development. It means that those are the only jobs that can apply to that falls within that category. The answer is no. This is a data engineering role and it falls within the code 2136. And it meets all the criteria in terms of the points that you need to apply to this particular job role. All right. Now, we're looking at this. This is a very easy way for you to identify companies that are willing to sponsor. And you can apply now. Click on apply now, start the application process, turn in your application, get an interview, and you start to land the job. This is UK Hired. It's one of my favorites when it comes to searching for sponsorship jobs that would give you the visa sponsorship. Now, going back to our slide, you also have another website I want to introduce very quickly before I hand over to Efemena, which is the company jobs. I talked about that, company jobs. Now, company jobs would help you check the number of sponsorships, certificates of sponsorship, COS, that company has given out. Okay, so I'm just going to go to my browser and I'll type company jobs. So it's companyjobs.uk. So I'm just going to copy that and I'll send it to you in the chat. Okay, companyjobs.uk. Let me do that quickly. I'll put that in the chat as well for you. And of course, there are two things you can do here. You can search for visa sponsorship. Okay, so find UK visa jobs. You can also find UK sponsors. All right, I'll click on find UK sponsors because I want to check, like I mentioned, I've applied to a particular company. This company I've applied to, how many visas, how many certificates of sponsorship have they given? If they've given just 10, what are the chances I'll be the 11th person? It means that it's going to take a while before they give another sponsorship, or they don't offer COS as often as other companies would. Okay, so of course you can, if you look at the lists, you can see Concordia UK, Proforce, Fruitful Jobs, Tata Consulting Services. They recently bought over Land Rover and that's Tata Consulting Services, Health Education, Cognizant. All right, Cognizant, one of our participants work in Cognizant, and he was offered sponsorship. Now look at this, the COS issued. I'm just going to maximize that a bit so you can see my screen better. 3,060. So what it means is if I apply to this company or I get a job from this company, then, oh, sorry about that. I think I must have clicked on something. So if I apply to this job, what it means, if I apply to this particular company, okay, let me just scroll. If I apply to this company, where is, okay. Anyways, let's look at another one. Let's look at Concordia, for example. If I apply to Concordia, Concordia has given 9,983 COS. So it's a no-brainer that if I get a job with this company, I'm going to get a COS. I'll get a certificate of sponsorship, no doubt about that. All right. Now, for the gentleman that asked the other time, Millennium, we talked about Millennium supports. Let's search. So you can also search, and I'll just minimize a bit. You can search for the company, Millennium Support, and let's search and see if we find anything here. Okay, search listings. So that's Millennium Support Care Homes. They've given 20 certificates of sponsorship. All right, so somebody in the chat asked me the question, oh, can you search for Millennium Support? Now, Millennium Support has given 20 COS. Well, it's a bit low, but it means they can actually offer you certificates of sponsorship. So you want to check the company. So a company that has not indicated that they offer certificates of sponsorship, you can check and see how many certificates of sponsorship, COS, have they given over time. And you can base your judgment on that to say, I can eventually ask for COS if I'm going to apply to the NHS. So the NHS has recruited the highest number of Tenalytics alumni, not as care workers or health workers, but as data analysts, as business analysts, as data scientists. All right. The NHS always recruits. They recruit every other day. So if I search for the NHS, okay, I just type in NHS, and then I search listings, I'll see the different NHS trusts across different regions. And I can select my own region to check. Now, this is a region, the Manchester University NHS Foundation Trust. Okay, they have given how many COS? 1,548. All right. And there's so many other trusts, you'd see them. Now, if I want to specify the region, so let's assume I'm currently in Manchester. I just click on select region. I click on Northeast, click on search. Oh, sorry, Northwest, I beg your pardon. I click on Northwest and I click on search. Okay, so this would show me all the NHS trusts in the Northwest region, all right? And I can even specify, the different, category if I want to, but I'm not going to search for that. And I can start to search, okay? So this is the Manchester University, Northern Care Alliance, Lancashire Teaching Hospital, and you can see all the number of COS they've offered. And these are the companies you want to target, not just any company. Okay, the NHS, we always recommend our participants to go ahead and apply, and we'll share some of the profiles of people that have gotten jobs with the NHS, a lot of them, and all those jobs came with what? Sponsorship. In fact, somebody got a job last week as a business analyst with one of the NHS trusts, and the job also comes with visa sponsorship. So these are the different angles, the different strategies you can deploy in searching for a job. You don't want to start searching and you're searching and you say, oh, there are no jobs out there, I cannot get a job, or there are no jobs that would sponsor me, and so on and so forth. When you don't even understand how it works, you don't know it's a point-based system, you don't know that these are the skills you need to learn to start to apply to these job roles. Skills you can learn within the space of a few months, 3 to 4 months, you learn the skill and you can start to apply to these job roles. So for the next question is, how do I bring it all together and position myself? How do I start to look for, how can I apply to more jobs available? And Ifemena will be coming up to show us how we can do this. Okay, how can I apply to more roles, more jobs, take advantage of jobs available within the space and the ecosystem? And then we'll take questions afterwards. So if I don't know if you're there, you want to come in and take over from here. Let me see. Okay. Are you there, Ife? All right. I'm not sure if he's with us at the moment. So what I'm simply going to do is I'll take a few questions while Ife tries to join us to continue. All right. So again, and I just want to quickly share with you somebody who got a job recently with the NHS. Two people very quickly, and the Femena would come to join us. Okay. 2 people very quickly. Just give me 1 second while I scroll through my slides. All right, they got a job with the NHS, and that's why the NHS is simply fantastic. Okay, so I have some scribbling on this. All right, this is Desola. Okay, so Desola got a job with the NHS the last 2 weeks as a business analyst. All right, after completing our business analysis program, and Desola was able to do this. How was she able to do it? She had an interview. All right, we worked with her during her interview, and you can see the conversations. She sent her presentation to me. Okay, hi Adeza, I've just shared my presentation with you. I looked at the presentation, and you can see the time, 11:54 p.m. All right, I responded around 1 a.m. because her presentation was the day after, was on Friday, and she reached out on Thursday. Okay, so we had worked with her initially for her to prepare, come up with a presentation. And of course, I told her that presentation was fine. Go ahead, go deliver your presentation, stick to the timing, all right? Stick to the time limits. And guess what? She got the job, okay? Hello, Adeza, I'm pleased to inform you that I got the job with the NHS, okay? Thank you so much for your support. I am very, very grateful. Okay, so we had a conversation around that, and these are some of the areas that Femena will be coming back to, talk to us about. But just to show you, this is Desola, and there's so many others along the slide. I'm not going to bore you too much with that at the moment. All right. So currently on healthcare visa, how can I get into the tech space? Again, I always tell people it's a skill-based area. It's a skill-based area, and all you need to do is to learn the skill. So irrespective of your current job function, are you in healthcare? Are you a medical doctor? Are you a care worker? Because we have a lot of people, yes, they come into the UK, they need to pay their bills, and they fall into, I won't call it a trap, but you start to do the care jobs. And guess what happens eventually? So you do the care jobs to pay your bills, but then you get stuck doing the care jobs. Okay, so how do you transition and switch? All right, how do you get a job with all due respect to any care worker, deeply, highly respect them, but how do you get a job where you can see a clear career progression? I'm going to move from this level to this level, I'm going to earn this amount, and I'm going to do work that I love to do. Soft work, work from home, hybrid work. You go to the office maybe around 2 to 3 days a week, and you get to do absolutely amazing. All right. So I'm going to allow Ifemena to come in to take the rest of the session, and then I'll come back to take all the questions that you have before we wrap up. Okay, Ife.
Hey everyone, good evening, everyone. How you all doing today? It's been an amazing session so far. All right. And hello, my people. Are you doing okay? So how are you guys doing today? Put it in the chat. How are you doing? How's the session been for you? Good, good, good. Let me just put it in the chat real quick so we can get started. All right. Yeah, fantastic, great, great, great. So I'm going to be telling you something for real quick, okay? This session is going to be mind blowing, and that's to everybody. You're a student, you finish your masters, you are in Nigeria, you're looking to get a remote job, you're looking to get. So, what I tell most people, and the good thing about tech is we actually call it the global tech talent for a reason. Okay, it's called the global tech talent for a reason, and that's because the skills that you have as a tech talent, it's not just for a specific region. Okay. It's not just for, oh, I'm a data analyst, I'm a business analyst. It doesn't mean that you can only get jobs in your region or where you are or where you have experience. It doesn't mean that. You could be in the UK working for a firm in Canada. Wonderful. You could be in the UK working for a firm in Ireland. All right. You could be in Nigeria working for a firm in the US, Canada, the UK, anywhere across the world. That's the beauty of tech. Okay? That's literally the beauty of tech. And that's what we're going to be exploring today. How do you get remote tech jobs? Now, one key question you need to ask yourself is, do I have the skill to get this job? That's the first question I ask most people. Because a lot of people reach out to me via LinkedIn, one-on-one conversations, all right, via Instagram and all that, all right. Oh, I want to get a job. I can't get a job. There are no jobs anywhere. Okay. Oh, I'm a student in the UK. Can I get a job? Can I get a data analyst job where I don't have to work, jobs where I can work at my convenience, I can work from home. All right. The funny thing is, the good thing about this is, yes, you can. All right. Now, the problem with what's happening around the world or what's happening is lack of information. All right. You are limited to work 20 hours in the UK as an international student. But that doesn't mean you cannot work remotely for a firm in New Zealand or in Australia or in the UK or I said, no, not the UK, or in Canada or in the US. All right. It doesn't limit you. You can work full time for a company in the US. All right. And you're still earning your cool $3,000, $5,000 every month. Okay. Very, very possible. But the key question you need to ask yourself is, do I have this skill to get this job? That's the first question you need to ask yourself. Do I have the skill? And anything that has to do with oh, I need to get UK experience. I need to get international experience. Scrap it from your mind. There's nothing like that. You're just basically, you don't have skill. That's why you use that to rationalize yourself. That's how you use it to rationalize. So, anyways, I'm going to be talking about, it's going to be a very interactive session, okay? And essentially, what we're going to be talking about is how to get remote tech jobs, okay? High-paying jobs, not any high-paying tech jobs. All right. So we're going to be exploring some career paths today, okay? Real quick, in the next maximum 30, 45 minutes, we're going to do this, okay? So we're going to be exploring, 7 job roles. And the reasons why we took these 7 job roles, I would explain it. But looking at the job roles that you have here, business analysis, data analytics, financial analytics, HR analytics, full stack data science, data engineering, and power platform engineering. Which of these career paths would you be willing to get a remote tech job in? Put it in the chat. Let me see. All right. What part, which of these, career paths would you be looking to get a remote job in? All right. Just let me see it in the chat. Business analysis, data analytics, financial analytics, HR analytics. Which of these career paths would you be looking into? All right, so I can see financial analytics, data analytics, data engineering, data analytics, data engineering. Oh, that's good. Full stack data science. So that's a data science role. Okay. Data analyst, power platform engineering. Oh, that's fantastic. It's good to see you guys here. All right. So, there are quite a number of jobs, and that's what we're going to be exploring today. Remote tech jobs. Okay. You're in Nigeria looking for a job in the UK. You're looking for remote jobs in the US, New Zealand, Australia, literally anywhere across the world. All right. That's what we're going to be exploring today. All right. Now, the reasons why we picked these 7 key roles is because of 3 things. All right. 3 key things. Now, I want you to just listen to me. Okay. These 3 things are easy to learn, easy to transition, and high and rewarding salaries. These are the 3 criteria in which we selected these 7 roles. Easy to learn, easy to transition in the sense that they are always recruiting for these roles. All right. If you're in the United States, you're in Canada, you're in the UK, regardless of anywhere you are, the companies are always looking to hire this career path. So it's easy for you to transition. All you need to do is learn. And it's also do what? It's easy to learn, easy to transition because they are always, job openings, so on and so forth. And the last but not the least is a key thing, high and rewarding salary. Adisa, before he left, was talking about, career progression. Okay? If you're even going to get another menial job ahead of what you're earning and what you're doing at the moment, what is the next salary? What's your career projection? What's your salary progression also? Those are the things you need to consider. Okay. So if you're currently on a 28K salary, okay, or in 30K, what's your next salary? What's the next job? All right. There was a participant of ours, that was earning working with Tesco. Okay. He used to earn about roughly around 30K. Okay. And his first job in tech, his first job as a data support analyst was 45,000. 45,000 pounds, jumping from 30 to 45. All right. Anyways, we're going to be talking about all those, before we jump into it. Okay. So, what we're going to be exploring today is places you can get remote tech jobs. Okay. Places you can get remote tech jobs. So the first place is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is a place that most people don't understand how it works. LinkedIn is a good source of getting remote jobs. LinkedIn, you have built in, all right, this is majorly for US tech roles, okay, US based tech roles, anything that has to do with tech remote jobs, built in is very good for if you're looking for jobs in the US and some other regions also. Glassdoor, fantastic place for remote job, okay? If you don't know, now you know. I'm going to do practical. I'm going to show you practically how you can search for jobs on these platforms and how you can get these jobs. All right. But I would need to ask you, be honest with yourself. Do you have the skills to get these jobs? Okay. So we have FlexJob, we have Upwork, Remote.co, Indeed, and Wellfound. So these are some of the places where you can get fully remote roles. These are some of the places you can get fully remote roles. Okay. So we're going to be exploring some of them in class today, very briefly. All right. I know it's a weekend, it's night, and all of you might be tired already from the days, Owemba party, the parties that you've gone to. All right. So we're going to be exploring some of these job sites and practically showing you how you can get a remote jobs via this platform. All right. Well, in the process of showing you this, obviously we need to search for jobs. Okay. There are certain career paths we're going to be looking at. So I'm going to be dividing it. I'm going to be looking at different career paths for different websites. All right. So the first two career paths we're going to be looking at is business analysis and data analytics. So if you indicated that you're looking to become a business analyst or a data analyst, and you want to be working remotely, okay, the first place we're going to be visiting is LinkedIn. All right. So we're going to be exploring LinkedIn for a business analyst and a data analyst. So if you want to get remote jobs, how do you use LinkedIn to get the remote jobs that you're looking for? All right, that's what we want to explore now. So just sit back, relax, and just watch me, perform. It's not really magic, really. Something that you might be aware of, something you might think you might know, but let's just explore it together. So I'm just going to go to my browser. All right, I'm going to go to my browser. I'm going to go to LinkedIn, okay? LinkedIn, all right? So I'm going to search, okay? I'm going to go to jobs, okay? And I'm going to start with business analyst, okay? So the first part is business analyst. I'm looking for a business analyst role. So I'm going to search for business analyst, okay? All right, press enter. So currently it takes in the United States by default, the United States. So business analyst, I'm looking for a business analyst role in the United States. All right. Now, the other part is you see here, you have some filters, okay? The date it was posted, experience level, salary level, company, on-site / remote. So that's what you're looking for, on-site / remote. Now, you can learn a skill in Nigeria and be earning in dollars. That's exactly what we're trying to show you. So click the drop down and you see remote, not remote, the comedian. Okay, this is remote role. Okay, click on remote and you see what? 28,000 remote jobs currently in the United States. 28,000. All right, I'm going to click on show, and you can check this. It's not specific to my browser. So if you're in Nigeria, you could do the same search and you'll see the same results. All right. So you see there are quite a number of business analyst roles out there. Okay. So you have senior business analysts, you have business analysts, you have business analyst remotes. So there are quite a number of roles that you could actually look at. And you see it's very, very basic requirements. That's the sweet part. All right. But people don't know this because they've never tried it before. They've never learned before. They don't know how to navigate the job market. But that's where we come in to show you how you can do that. All right. See, requirements, bachelor's degree in business, all right, or a similar field of study. Literally, anything you study, you're fine, you're good. All right. But that's not a requirement, to be honest. Okay. Excellent written and verbal communication skill. Do you talk? Have you written before? Have you spoken to somebody before? You have communication. But honestly, you just need to polish yourself and sound more like a business analyst. That's the key thing. Legally, also right to work in the US without restriction. Now, this company has specifically said that you must be in the US in order for you to get this fully remote role. All right. So some of them will specify that you have to, even though it's going to be fully remote, you have to be in the US to get that role. All right. So you obviously, sometimes you still apply and they'll still interview you for the role. You might be lucky to get it. Okay. So if you don't apply for the role, you are losing out 100%. So even though they specify, please still apply. All right. Have a good CV, have good experience listed out on your CV. I am telling you, people will bend in order for you. If you are good enough, people will bend for you. All right. So, and there are quite a number of other roles, but I tell most times, please apply, regardless of any description they put on the job site. Please just apply because you have a 50-50 chance at that point. Okay. Now let's look at another one. It's the same thing. You see this, it's still the same day-to-day activities. What are we looking for? You see various analyst methodologies and tools, collaboration tools, and visualization tools. I want you to take note of these key requirements because it's going to be important when you're talking about how you can become a business analyst. All right, the steps you can take in order for you to become a business analyst. So you see visualization tool, analytical methodologies. So you see some business analyst roles are incorporated a bit of analytics. All right. And this is Capgemini. Okay. So you can also look at this and you see these are business analyst roles that are currently fully remote that they are looking for. And you see what Capgemini is looking for: experienced BA, 4 to 5 years experience. Trust me, you can work around it. Okay. Verbal and written communication, knowledge of service domain will be a plus. Quick learner. So literally, these are the jobs that are available, fully remote for top tech firms across the world that you can actually look out for. And it's not just this when you're trying to get a job as a business analyst. Please don't just search for business analyst and leave it at that. There are a ton of roles you can actually look out for. You could actually look out for a business data analyst. All right? Business data analyst. You'll see other roles alongside of business data analyst. All right? And you can see this is one of the key beauty of you going through an organization that understands the job market. You can look for process analysts. You can look for business systems analysts. All right. So if you look at business systems analyst, okay, you see there are quite a number of roles: senior IT business systems analyst, business systems analyst, business systems analyst. So they are not telling you this is another role, and this is about 2,300 results currently for the US. Now, when you finish in the US, if you say that, okay, do you know what? I'm looking for, I've applied for jobs in the US, it's not coming, it's not forthcoming. What do? You move away from the US and go to Australia, all right? And look for jobs in Australia, okay? I'm going to look for business analysts looking for business analyst roles in Australia, all right? I'm going to do the same thing for data analytics. So you could do the same thing for data analysts, okay? All right. So if you're looking to become a data analyst, you can use LinkedIn to get remote jobs. These are all remote jobs in Australia. You could do the same thing for the United States. All right. And you have your results. So these are all data analytics roles, currently remote roles in the US. Like I said, it's 50-50. Some of them want you to be in the US to get that remote job. Okay. Some of them don't mind. Okay. but you never know until you apply. Do you understand? Well, this is just one of the places you can get remote job opportunities. So please, if you don't have your LinkedIn profile optimized, or you don't have a very good looking profile on LinkedIn, please check it out. Okay, optimize your LinkedIn profile. We will do it for you. Anyways, I would explain it as we go on. But essentially, have your LinkedIn optimized, and you will be getting what we call emails from recruiters to get you into the organizations. So that's exactly what we're talking about. So LinkedIn is a beautiful place to get remote job opportunities. And I'm going to explain more, okay? But now, you see all these roles, data analytics, data analyst. So let's just look at one of them, okay? So you can see this data analyst position, also remote, actively recruited, $35 to $45 per hour. So if you're working 40 hours per week, you understand, you can do the maths yourself. And, these are the things that people are looking out for. Strong experience using SQL, okay? Experience working with financial, operational, financial and educational data, excellent written and verbal communication skills. These are skills that you have already, okay? Or you can get, and you can use it to get these roles. That's the key question. That's the key thing we tell most people. All right. So if you have limitations in the UK, it doesn't mean you cannot work freelance, or you can work as a fully remote staff for another organization in the US. All right. So now the key question now is, these jobs are available. Do you have the skills? Do you have the experience in order for you to get this job? And if you don't have this, how can you get it? How can you get started? That's another question. So let's talk about how you can become a business analyst. All right. The critical steps to take to become a business analyst. Now, first of all, let's talk about the role, business analysis. Now, a lot of people think business analysis and data analysis are the same thing. Absolutely garbage. They are not the same thing. They are two different career paths. So business analyst is on one part, a data analyst is on entirely different parts. Do you understand? There are two separate roles. Know this today, know this for good. Business analysis and data analysis are not the same thing. Now, let's talk about business analysis. Okay, let's start with business analysis. Then we'll take data analytics. Now, the business analyst is basically a middleman. All right. The business analyst is a middleman. And what do I mean by a middleman? You see what I wrote here? The business analyst acts as a bridge between business stakeholders and technical teams. So you're that person in the middle, okay? That is a mediator of some sort, okay? That listens to the business people, that's the CEO, the CTO, or any other business stakeholder within the business, all right? That understands the business, that knows how to gather requirements from these people, all right? And communicates it to the technical team. Now, take for example, okay, the CEO, okay, let's say you work with a company that sells, cement. Okay, you work with a company that sells cement. Cement, how do you sell cement? You sell cement in big warehouses or small warehouses or small stores. That's cement. You know how to buy cement. You go to, especially in Nigeria, all right? So you go to those warehouses to buy cement. You understand? But the CEO now says that because of COVID-19, all right, all our stores across the nation had to be closed down, okay? How can we get to sell cement online? All right. The CEO has an idea, okay? Or even you, the business analyst, you saw that, it's not good for the business. It's not optimal to be running brick and mortar businesses, all right? In this current situation where we are, all right, where everything is going remote, obviously, all right? So you now look at the business and you say that, how can we sell our products online? So the business, the key business requirement at the moment is, let's move our cement selling business and start selling it online. Let's create a website, let's create an application, so on and so forth. Now, the business stakeholder has told you that, okay, let's move our business from brick and mortar into the online space. You, the business analyst, you are the person that would get this requirement from the CEO and get it across to the technical team. All right. So now you're going to meet the technical team, the likes of the data analysts, the software developers, the products, and all that, guys in the tech, the tech space, to tell them that, okay, we need to create a website. All right. So you, the business analyst, will do, you do your own benchmarking, your own, your what you call requirement gathering to find out what it takes to build a website. So you can either buy a website from WordPress or Wix. Okay, is it Wix they call it? Okay. All right. You could buy it ready-made and you modify it to suit the business need. Or you can get a software developer that will build a new website for you. All right. So you could do any one of them. All right. So as a business analyst, you'll be the one to talk to people within the organization and see which one is the best fit for the organization. So you're not doing anything too techy in the real sense of it, but you are the one ensuring that things are optimal. Processes within the business are optimal. All right. It doesn't have to be like a significant project like that. It could be a small project like understanding the business process, okay, and seeing how you can optimize the business process, okay. So if normally profit on each transaction is about, let's say, five naira per transaction, so as a business analyst, you should look at that as concerning, okay, and say that how can we move from that 5 naira per transaction to 20 naira per transaction? So you need to understand what we call the process, okay? So if somebody makes a payment online, how do we, optimize the process so that we can earn more money? Do you understand? So that's when you start to do process mapping. You start to do, all the things you need to do to understand the process and make it, the gap analysis, just to ensure that you're making business processes more efficient. So basically, that's what you're doing as a business analyst. All right. Now, the good thing about this is a business analyst, you are also going to be learning analytics. And that's the reason why I told you when we're looking for the job, online, the remote jobs, I told you to take notes of some key areas, okay? Now, you'll notice that some roles now for business analysts are requiring you, they require you to have analytic skills, okay? So the likes of Excel, visualization tools like Power BI, you remember, they were saying visualization tools. So Power BI, Excel are all their visualization tools, okay? SQL is structured query language. So organizations, they store data in what we call a database, okay? You would have heard of a database, okay? So how do you access data from the database? You'd use SQL to extract data from the database. So that's exactly what you'll be doing. So Excel, Power BI, you will learn Excel, Power BI, and SQL during the training program with the analytics, okay? You would also learn what we call process mapping. So how a process starts and how it ends. Take, for example, you ordering for something online. So when you order for a product, okay, you order for the product, it takes several steps. There are several activities that goes on within the business before that product is delivered to you. So you order for something on Amazon. There are several things that will happen in order for the product to get to you. All right. So if normally that process takes about 3 days or 5 days, let's say 5 days, it takes about 5 days. When you order, it takes 5 days for the product to get to you. A business analyst will look at that as incompetent, okay, as inefficient, and look at how they can improve it from 5 days to 2 days or same day delivery. Okay, so when you order for a product online, how can we make it reduce? How can we reduce it from 5 days to 1 day or same day delivery? That's what a business analyst will be looking out for, drawing process maps and all that. So we have what we call project initiation planning. So like that cement company that wants to start selling online, like the business analyst is the person, after understanding the requirement from the business stakeholders, all right, you need to start to gather your team together, okay? To gather the software developers, the data scientists, the data analysts, the other tech professionals, all right, to start the project. So project initiation planning. So we have the Agile and Scrum for projects. We have software development lifecycle. So if you're going to be building a website, that's an application, all right? What is the software development lifecycle? How do you start and how do you end? That's exactly what you'll be doing during the software development lifecycle. Requirement fundamentals, elicitation, and stakeholder analysis and engagement. So yes, in as much as you're not required to do anything too technical, that's not your requirement. But majority of the roles currently require you to do a little bit of analysis. Okay? All right, allow you to do a little bit of, it's not necessary, not all the roles do this. And that's why, we strive to always give out the best to the people that come for our training program, because we are in tune. We're in tune to what's happening in the industry. All right, so we are always researching. I'm currently in the industry. Adele also currently in the industry. All the professionals that we work with as facilitators also are all, within the industry. So we're always updating our programs to stay in touch, to stay above even, what's happening in the industry. All right. So that's why you have analytics merged with business analysis. It's not necessary, but we want you to be able to apply for more jobs. So the likes of business data analysts, business systems analysts, they all require a little bit of analytics embedded in them. Okay. So now, what is the average salary of a business analyst? In the US, in the UK, the UK is £52,000. The average salary of a business analyst in the UK is £52,000. Canada is 74,000 Canadian dollars, and in the US it is 85 US dollars. All right, 85,000 US dollars per annum. Okay. Now the learning journey with analytics is for 3 months. To become a business analyst, going through the analytics, training program is 3 months. So you have 2 months of practical learning and 1 month of internship. 1 month internship, free internship. You're not paying for that. So 2 months learning and 1 month free virtual internship. Now you're going to learn Excel. You're going to learn Power BI, SQL. You will work with Slack. You work with Jira software, Confluence. You also work with Grow.io, you work with Trello, and you work with ChatGPT. All right. So you see, we've incorporated AI into the mix, and that's the new reality that we're facing. So that's exactly what you're going to be learning for the business analysis training program. All right. So moving on to data analytics. All right. Now, for data analysts, you already understand what business analyst does. All right. They are just like a middleman. Okay. Business requirement. Okay, CEO, we should build a website. Okay, you go and talk to the technical team. How do we start? How do we move? How do we move from plan A to plan B? Do you understand? That's what you're doing as a business analyst. But a data analytics professional, a data analyst is more hands-on. Okay, and let me break it down simple for you. So what you'll be doing as a data analyst, you see a lot of data analysts, they're building dashboards. Okay, they build dashboard. Pie chart, bar charts, column charts, and all those charts that they are doing, chat everywhere. All right, they build wonderful, colorful, interactive dashboards. Now, this dashboard tell 2 stories. Okay, descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics. Big English. Oh yeah, let's go there. Okay, big English. Descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics. I want to use English to scatter everywhere, but very simple context. Okay. Descriptive analytics is basically you're telling a story about what has happened. What happened in the past? What has happened? What happened last month? When I get a report on what happened last month. So what would you do? You do what? You tell a story about what happened last month. So you see that dashboard. You'll see, oh, we had 500 new customers. Okay. We had 600 transactions. Okay. We made a profit of 10 million naira. Do you understand? You see all those visualization. That 10 million naira, we made that profit, you can split it amongst the products. Oh, product A, we made this amount. Product B, we made this amount. Basically, you're telling the story on what happened in the past. You're analyzing data to tell a story on what happened. That's the first part, describing the situation. All right. Basically describing what happened in the past. Now, the next part is diagnostic analytics, where you're telling the story on why that particular thing happened. So you made 10 million last month. Why did you make 10 million? How did you make 10 million? Okay, so you need to investigate. So you see those dashboards people are creating, it's answering 2 critical questions. What happened and why did it happen? All right, so that's the data analyst job. So when you see a data analyst, you see them creating reports, tracking certain KPIs. KPIs basically are key performance indicators. All right. So you see, they're doing all these things to tell a story, to tell the business, this is what's happening, and this is why it is happening. All right. Rather than, I'm not saying you shouldn't pray. You should pray. Everybody should pray. But rather than depending just on prayers, okay, your data analyst is the oracle within the business that will tell you what happened last month and why that particular thing happened based on the business data. All right. So it's more hands-on, it's more technical. So that's why you see you start with problem solving, because as a data analyst, problem go plenty. There will be plenty problems within the business. Why are we making so much money? Even though it sounds very weird, it sounds weird. Why are we making so much money? The data analyst has to answer that question. Okay, why are we making so much money? Because if we're making so much money at this point in time, we also need to continue to make that plenty of money. Do you understand? Right. So if on average you're making 5 million every month, and 1 month you made 30 million, that's a good problem. Okay. So you want to figure out how you made 30 million in order for you to make that 30 million or more the next month. So that's kind of analysis you'll be doing. Also, if you're losing customers, you need to find out the reasons why you're losing customers. So you see all this kind of analysis, customer churn, you want to, sales performance, so many kind of reports you build as a data analyst. So, you need to understand problem solving. All right. You need to understand problem solving. The next thing is you'll learn Excel, you learn SQL, you learn Power BI, Tableau, data storytelling. You have to learn data storytelling because you'll be building dashboards, you'll be building reports, and you need to be able to communicate this in a story-like manner to, captivate the audience and also pass across the message. All right. So that's where you have data storytelling. All right. You also have what we call ChatGPT for analytics. Beautiful. I said AI is not supposed to take your job. It's supposed to enhance your activities as a data professional or as a tech professional. And last but not the least, you see Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. Now, this is a tool that is barely 2 months on the market. All right. And it's already on the curriculum to ensure you are in tune with the recent development. So even if most organizations are they're not deploying Fabrics just yet, we are equipping people so that whenever it is deployed, you are part of the first people they will call to say that, oh, we can see you have experience working with Microsoft Fabrics. Can you join the team? Do you understand? That's exactly what we're doing. So you learn Microsoft Fabrics for analytics. It's a very, very recent technology. So let's look at experience. Let's look at like salaries. Okay. Abigail, don't worry. We'll talk about. Can you just calm down? Don't worry. We'll talk about everything. Don't worry. Just relax. As I said, we're just going to be here for the next maximum 1 hour. Okay. So UK salary average salary for a data analyst is £40,000. Okay. In Canada, it is 64,000 Canadian dollars. And in the US, it is 72,000 US dollars. All right. The entire learning scope with data analytics for data analytics is 4 months. You're going to be with analytics for 4 months. So 3 months of immersive and intensive training program, project-led training program, and you have 1 month virtual internship. So like I said, you work with, problem solving, Excel, Power BI, Tableau, SQL, Microsoft Fabrics, and ChatGPT for analytics. So there are quite a number of things you would learn. All right. 3 months training program, 1 month free virtual internship. All right. So now let's move on to the next career parts. We're going to look at financial analytics and HR analytics. So if you want to become a financial analyst or an HR analyst, you can also get jobs remotely. You don't believe me? I'll show you. You can get jobs working remotely. And let's look at this. We'll look at LinkedIn. All right. So LinkedIn is not just for data analytics and business analysis. It's for all the job roles. All right. Well, I needed to break it down so you can see that these jobs exist for remote workers. It exists. And FlexJob is fantastic for remote jobs. All right. Almost at par with LinkedIn. Now, let me show you FlexJobs. Let's go to FlexJob. I'm going to open a new tab so it's easy for you to. So just go to your browser and type in FlexJobs. It's simple like that. Okay. Flex. All right. So if you want to flex, just remember Flex and you remember FlexJobs. Okay. So FlexJobs. This is remote job. And you see it here. Best remote job, work from home jobs, online jobs. This is remote, fully remote jobs. All right. So LinkedIn, you have to filter for on-site and remote, so on and so forth. But this is fully remote jobs. All right. So the number one job site to find remote jobs. Beautiful. Obviously, it's not number one. It's one of the best, honestly speaking. All right. But obviously, we'll explore some other ones that you'll be the one find out the one that works for you. All right. So we're looking for financial analytics and HR analysts. So let me look for financial analysts first of all. So when you say there are no jobs, please ask yourself a critical question. Do I have skill? What skills are people looking for? Do I have it? Okay, so let's look at financial analyst and let's search for this. So you see this IT financial analyst. And that's why we say most people think financial analyst, okay, well, we call our financial analytics, okay, and that's because you're using data analytics within the finance landscape. All right, so that's why you see places like this called as IT financial analyst. Okay, so this is 100% remote, 100% remote. Okay, so we need to create a profile, login, and all that in order for you to see the full details of the role, so on and so forth. So you see financial analyst, the same thing. This is hybrid remote. So this might not work because if you're currently in Nigeria, this might not work for you. But like I usually tell you guys, please just apply. All right, just apply. Because if you don't apply, you've missed out 100%. All right, but if you apply, there's a 50-50 chance that they might call you. They might just call you. Do you understand? All right. So most people would think that financial analyst is business focused. No, it's moving IT specific because you're using data analytics softwares for financial reporting, for financial analysis, and those things. And the beauty about our financial analytics program, I'll tell you later, okay, when we get there. So it's a financial analyst role. So it's not only financial analyst. Because you learn financial analytics, you jump into job site and start looking for financial analyst. That's not the only roles you can get. Now, this is information I will tell other people. I will tell my people within analytics. I'll show you one. So as a financial analyst, that's not the only type of role you can go for. You can actually go for what we call a commercial analyst. Okay. Okay. You see commercial analysts, all right? FP&A, financial planning, okay? These are all financial analytics, career paths. So you see senior financial analyst, commercial analyst, junior commercial planning analyst. I talked about financial planning just now, all right? Commercial solutions senior analyst, credit analyst. So these are all analytics roles based on your knowledge of finance, all right? And that's basically what we're talking about, okay? So this is for, finance, and you can see these roles exist. You see some of them are in Australia, some of them are in Germany, some of them are in the US, some of them are where? Buffalo, that's in New York, I'm guessing. All right. You see, all these roles, it's not just in the US. This is actually looking across different regions across the world. All right. And that's the beauty because I'm not specifying your location. I'm not specifying your location. So I'm literally looking for jobs anywhere across the world. That's the beauty. All right. So ask yourself, be very true to yourself to ask, do I have the skills? Now, for HR professionals, I feel like, oh, my role is not in demand. You're joking. You don't have skills that people are looking for. That's why you feel like you need some other kind of technical role for you to get started. HR analytics is high in demand, and I'm going to check it out for you. So you see HR analyst, I'm going to search it out for you and search. You see, these are all fully remote roles for HR analysts. We have about, if off the top of my head, I know about 10 people that went through analytics that are currently in Nigeria working for remote jobs in the US. All right. How did they do it? It's the same way I'm teaching you right now. But the first thing is they went through analytics, got the skills, and now they're working fully remote, earning in dollars and living in Nigeria. All right. So you see, these are all US. This is US. This is all in the US. This is US. This is, majorly US field roles. But there are quite a number of roles in there. All right. There are quite a number of roles. And this is, I'm not getting down. Okay. You can see there's still multiple roles of jobs for HR analysts. Now, the other thing I'd like to tell you also is these are all remote jobs, okay? All remote HR operations analysts, HR technology analysts. These are all roles that exist at the moment. You could also search for people analysts. It doesn't have to be, it's not every time they'll call their role HR analyst. All right. Some will call it people analyst. And you see this people operations analyst. people operation analyst, staff people data analyst. So these are all, and you can see, I wish I could do is already 100% remote, US national employee. You need full access. You need to get registered to get access to it. But these are roles, fully remote roles available. That you should be looking out for. All right. So these are, flex jobs, that's flex jobs. And we just looked at people analysts. There are so many other ways they call theirs, okay? Compensation. All right. And you can actually, you see, senior compensation analyst, senior analyst compensation, worker compensation. These are all HR related. All they're looking for are people with analytic skills that can actually answer HR related questions. All right. So these are flex jobs. We've looked at LinkedIn. We've looked at flex job. So once you finish applying for jobs on LinkedIn for remote jobs, move to flex jobs. All right. Apply for another set of roles. I can tell you do this with having the skill, having a good CV, LinkedIn profile, you would land one of these jobs you apply to. All right. So that's using flex job. If you understand what I am talking about, I want you to put a yes in the chat. Put a yes in the chat if you understand what I am talking about. And tell me what you if you understand, put a yes in the chat. Fantastic. I want to see people that are listening to me. Just 7 people. Impressive. Okay, more people are joining now. Okay, that's good. All right, so let's explore more. Let's explore now. The key question is, these jobs are available. Now, the key thing you need to ask yourself is, do I have the skill? Now, let me walk you through our HR analytics training program. All right, and now this training program would help you get started in HR analytics. All right, now HR analytics basically is a data analyst that is in the HR space, that HR experience. That's really the difference. So you're a data analyst. Well, now you're not just a data analyst, you are specialized. All right, so you work within the HR space. Now, if you look at every business out there are 3 critical factors within every business. We have what we call processes, we have technology, and we have people. So we have process, technology, and people. Now, among these 3, what do you think is the most important one amongst the 3? People, of course, because it is people that drive the process, and it is people that leverage the technology. All right. So without people in your organization, the organization is likely not going to work. So you see, now HR has moved away from that mundane business related department to become more strategic. Okay. So HR roles are now becoming more strategic. And how are they becoming more strategic? They are using data to propose solutions to the business. All right. So HR analyst, if you are that person that wants to be an HR person, I call HR person, you don't even have experience in HR, but you would like to be an HR analyst. This program is literally designed for you. All right. So like I said, you'll be having skills of a data analyst. So you'll be starting with problem solving. All right. You start with learning problem solving, understanding how to break down problems into smaller chunks, so on and so forth. You will learn Excel. Just like the data analyst will learn Excel for analytics, for visualization, for reporting, you will learn it. All right. You do the same thing with Power BI, and also you do the same thing with SQL. So you're going to be learning the key technologies a data analyst will learn. Well, we'll now merge, we'll move away and now specialize for the HR workspace. You specialize just for the HR space. Now, that's when you now start to talk about HR analytics and performance evaluation. And bear in mind that this is case study based. All right, it's case study based. All what you're going to be working on are data related to HR related data. You work with HR metrics and lifecycle. You work with HR analysis and dashboarding, collaboration and report automation. Fantastic. Right. And I wish I showed you some of the job roles for HR. Okay. Majority of the times they need you to automate reports. Okay. So if you're going to be building reports that tracks people's performance on a weekly basis, you need to create that report every week manually. No. How do you not automate that report? That's exactly what you'll be working with here. Collaboration and report automation. All right. So you learn how to automate HR data, automate HR reports, so on and so forth. All right. Then the last but not the least is building your case and creating action. Now, because the HR space is becoming strategic, all right, you need to be able to use data to tell a story and tell them the solution to the problem. That's how you build a case and you create actions. All right. So average salary of an HR analyst is £32,500. In Canada, it is 71,000 Canadian dollars, and in the US, it is 62,000 US dollars. So the learning process within Analytics is 4 months. It's a 4-month training program. 3 months of learning. Sorry about that. 3 months of learning and 1 month internship. 1 month internship. Free virtual internship. So you learn problem solving, Excel, Power BI, SQL, HR analytics, HR metrics, evaluation, collaboration, and so on. And you would also leverage ChatGPT for analytics. Okay. So yeah, that's exactly what you do with HR space. So the next thing you're going to learn for financial analytics on the other hand, okay, you will do the same thing. So the beauty about the financial analytics training program, like I said, it's not just financial analysis you can do. You can work as a commercial analyst. You can work as, I won't tell you, computer analytics will literally hold your hands and guide you through all of the roles you can actually apply to. All right. So you see, the financial analytics training program is a merge of three critical career paths. Okay, 3 critical career paths. It merges everything together. Now, let me tell you, it merges financial planning, corporate finance, investment banking, and data analytics. So it's merging 3 career paths together: data analysis, corporate finance, and investment banking. Okay, so that's what you're going to be combining together in the financial analytics training program. So you would also be learning data analytics like a data analyst. So you're still a data analyst, but you are more focused on using data analytics in the finance space. So that's why it's called financial analytics, because you're using data within the finance space. So you'll be learning data analytics like a regular data analyst, not a regular, but like a data analyst. All right. You learn Excel, you learn Power BI, you learn problem solving. Now you delve into the core accounting, finance fundamentals, analytic fundamentals. So you learn accounting fundamentals, you learn financial analysis, financial modeling, valuation, sensitivity analysis, and scenario building, and so on and so forth. So you see, these are the key things that we tell most people. Yeah, just gain this skill. Jobs, plenty is plenty. All right, it is plenty. All right, so there are enough jobs for you to go through in order for you to get what you're looking for. Apologies, all right, that was a mistake. All right, so the UK, the average salary for a financial analyst in the UK is £51,000 per annum, £51,000 per annum. All right, for Canada, it is 69,000 Canadian dollars, and in the US, it is 74,000 US dollars. Now, this is average salary. Okay, average salary. So the career path for financial analytics within analytics is actually for 3 months. Okay, so 2 months of learning and 1 month internship. So it's supposed to be 3 months. Apologies. All right, so it's a 3-month career path. Okay, 2 months of learning and 1 month of internship. Okay, now that's financial analytics and HR analytics. Now, bear in mind that these are still data analysts, but you're now focused majorly on either the HR workspace or the finance workspace. But these are roles that are boldly in the tech industry where you can leverage in getting remote jobs across any region, across the world. So don't forget, it is called global tech talent, not local. Okay. It's literally global for a reason. So anywhere you are across the world, you can get a job remotely, work remotely, and so on. So now we've looked at 4 career paths: business analysis, data analytics, financial analytics, and HR analytics. But now let's explore another 2 career paths: data scientist and data engineering. Let's look at these 2: data scientist and data engineering. So let's look at them. Let's look for another job sites. Okay, built-in, fantastic, beautiful place. Now, after I finish this when I finish this, I'll tell you something that is going on personally with me, and you see exactly why it is very important for you to know that. So let me just show you built-in, okay? So I'm going to open a new tab so I can, show you progression to show you where the multitude of places where jobs are available. So I'm going to look for built-in. So built-in jobs. All right. So you see it here, National Tech and Startup. You see it here, Explore Remote Tech Jobs. Please, guys, please, this is I'm actually enter my tail. I talk about remote jobs opportunities. All right, it usually gets me excited. I won't lie to you, and that's because there are jobs. There are jobs. Now, the major problem with this is we are not getting these jobs. Africans are not getting these jobs. All right. So I've worked with some remote jobs, like so from this job site I've listed out so far. All right. And you see, majority when you get on these roles, you see people in Germany, France, Italy, Lithuania, all right, and are taking up these jobs. Oh, I just finished working for one company in the US. I just finished working with this startup in the UK. And I'm just always amazed with how wonderful the experience has been so far. All right. But that's my job now. That's our job at Analytics to tell you you can learn the skill and also start working remotely. Now let's explore these remote jobs. Let's explore this real quick. Explore. Explore. Now, this is majorly based in the US. Majority of them are based in the United States. Okay. So all the roles here are based in the US. All right. But it is remote. It is strictly remote opportunities. So now we're looking for data scientists. So I'm going to search for data scientist. Okay. And press enter. Now, these are all data scientist roles available in the place, okay, in this particular job site. So you see lead data scientist, senior data scientist, lead data scientist, data scientist, data scientist, data scientist. Now, the beauty about a data scientist is you can also apply for other jobs. It's not the data science you can apply for, all right? So you can apply for data analyst also, all right? So if I search for data analyst, you still have data analyst position, all right? Now, a lot of people will look at this and say that, it is senior, it's too much. It means you have to get, multitude years of experience, so on and so forth. All right. So you see, you'll be working with, quite a number. You see, it's deep experience. You're working with SQL, and these are the things you will learn in our data science program already, Python and Pandas, and that's why we called it the full stack data science program. Now, the reason why we call it the full stack data science program is very simple, and I'll explain it anyways. All right. It's very simple. Different organizations across the world are at different stages of working with data science. All right. Some organizations are still at that Excel stage, using Excel to do predictions and all that. So you need to be able to use that as a data scientist within any other organization you work with. Okay. So you see, these are the things you're going to be learning in the data science, the data science classes. Okay. So supply chain analyst, data analyst, data analyst, data. So these are jobs, fully remote jobs that are currently in the US that you can apply for. All right. That you can actually apply to. So there are quite a number of them in there. So that's data analyst, that's data scientist. You can work as literally any other role. Okay. Well, I'm going to keep it simple because of time. And also your data engineering. Okay. I think this is not the cash cow within the data. This is like this is the cash cow for most roles, for tech roles at the moment, because the organization are paying through their nose to get data engineers. All right. Well, you see, these are remote roles also. All right. Data engineer, senior data engineer, data engineer, data engineer, data engineer. So these are all roles. I'm just going to take one and explore this one. Okay. All right. Experience with end-to-end ETL pipeline development, experience, building reports in Looker and similar BI, hands-on experience working with cloud computing, cloud-based computing services like like Snowflake, Redshift, AWS and all that. Okay. So these are all data engineering roles. These are data engineering roles, and these are also all fully remote in the US. You see every single one of them have remote. All right, remote. And I usually tell you guys, like I would say again, please apply. All you need to do is apply. If you don't apply, you're losing out 100%. All right. But if you apply, you have 50-50 chance of them reaching out to you and confirming. Okay. So there are quite a number of places you can apply to. And you see, there are what? 430 jobs. All right. And it's not just data engineering you can take. You can also be what we call a BI engineer, a business intelligence engineer. So you see intelligence developer, senior BI developer, data engineer, associate BI developer. So there are other roles you can actually take on. BI stands for business intelligence. All right. So, when you're learning a skill, all right, learn with people that have experience. All right. So they can hold you and guide you, okay, through the journey. Okay. So you're not lost. I have people reaching out to me to say that, oh, I attended a training somewhere. I don't know how to get a job. I'm looking for free internship. All right. You can ask anybody that's been with analytics. All right. Free internship. You finish analytics and you're telling me you're going to look for a free internship somewhere. All right. You didn't go with analytics. You didn't train with us. 100% I'll grant you that. You're looking for free internship. Only the internship that we give you is enough for you to get a job. All right. And you're looking for free internship where? Okay. No, it's not possible. We can't do with analytics. Okay. So essentially, these are roles you can actually, these are another very beautiful place for you to get fully remote roles in the US. All right. So you see, if you go on Twitter, if you're a very, very good user of Twitter, you'll notice that majority of the people that are working remotely in Nigeria are working for companies in the US. Now you ask yourself, how are they able to get this? This is what we are providing for free for you. Telling you on a Saturday evening, learn this skill, and you'll be able to get on these remote jobs, earning in dollars, and you'll be living in your life in Nigeria. Or even if you're in the UK, you have that student visa, 20 hours limitation, learn skill, and get a job outside the country and work remotely. All right? Even if you finish your master's, you can get a full-time job in the UK and be working for a firm in the US and be doing the two jobs, earning two salaries from two different places. All right. Because if you get sponsorship in the UK, you can't do two jobs. Okay. You need to get it somewhere else. Okay. You can get it in Luxembourg. Okay. It doesn't matter. You can get it in Germany. Nobody cares about that. You're earning two salaries. That's the key thing. All right. Built in. So we've looked at LinkedIn, Flex Jobs, and Built in. These are fantastic places you can get fully remote tech jobs. All right. Now, the key question you need to ask yourself again is, do I have the skills to get this job? Fine, let's take a look at this. For data engineering, let's talk about the role of a data engineer first of all. Now, a data engineer is basically a person, let me put it in the simplest term possible, right, that moves data from one source into another source. Now, let me explain it practically. Now, you're all banking with a bank. Right? Is that correct? You're all using a bank, okay? You have a bank that you bank with. Okay, interesting. All right. So you have a bank that you're banking with, okay? So your ATM card, just your ATM card, just your ATM alone, your ATM card, you can make payments using what? POS. Now, when you make payments through POS, the data, that transaction, it is stored in a POS transaction database. Okay, it is stored in a POS transaction database. Now you go to the ATM, you put your card in the ATM, all right, you put in the amount you want to withdraw cash. That transaction from the ATM, it is not stored in POS, it is stored in another database, ATM transaction database, that will store all ATM transactions. So now we have two databases, the POS transaction database and the ATM transaction database. Now let's use mobile app. Let's incorporate mobile app, okay? So you pick up your app, you send money using the mobile app. That database, when you make that transaction also, it is stored in the mobile app database. So now, only one bank, but you see, currently we have been able to create 3 databases. Now, this data engineer is the person that will build what we call a data pipeline, all right? That will move data from the POS transaction database, from the ATM transaction database, and the mobile app transaction database. It will move data from these 3 databases into what we call a data warehouse. okay, into what we call a data warehouse. Now, a data warehouse is very simple. A data warehouse is what the data analyst and the data scientist would use to do analysis. So you see that dashboard that the data analyst will prepare. It's because the data engineer has made the data available. That's why the data analyst can create a dashboard, all right? That will now be able to plot to say that in this region, people are using more of ATM than POS, okay? In this other region, people use more of POS than ATM. Do you understand? So you see, that's where you now start to do analysis. But without that data warehouse, without optimizing, without building the data warehouse, without building the pipeline that will move data from the POS, ATM, and the mobile app into that central warehouse system, all right, the data analyst, the data scientist would not be able to do any work. And that's because that's what the job of a data engineer does. Moving data, fetching data from all the sources into a central warehouse in order for the data analyst and the data scientist to do their job. So that's why you see the roles. I showed you one of the JD, and you see that you'll be able to build what we call ETL pipelines. ETL, ETL. E stands for extract, T stands for transform, and L stands for load. Extract, transform, and load. So that's what you're doing as a data engineer, moving data from this sources into a central source, all right, for optimization, for analytics, and so on. All right. So you see, that's the job of a data engineer. So what would the training program be like within analytics? Okay. So you will learn data engineering because it's for beginners, all right? You don't have to have any experience before getting started as a data engineer. So you start with, the basics, learning the fundamentals of data engineering, SQL, you learn Python programming, you learn SQL. So you see these two technology, SQL and Python, that's like the foundation of data engineering, all right? That's the major foundation of data engineering. So you learn SQL, Python, you learn Linux, you learn how to do your batch scripting with Linux, you learn how to write commands using Linux and all that, okay? You work with, building custom ETL pipeline. This ETL we talked about, extract, transform, and load pipelines. Extract data from the database, transform it, meaning that you're going to clean it, make sure it is good, okay? Then you load it into the data warehouse. So you extract from all the three databases, you transform it, all right, make sure it is clean, and put it in the data warehouse for the data analyst and the data scientist, okay? So you build what? Custom ETL pipelines, working with databases and what we call APIs, okay? So you're also going to work with Apache Spark, okay? You work with Apache Airflow for orchestration. Now, transactions, let's take that same example I used, when you're making payments, when you're making payments using cards, using your ATM and all that, this transaction happens at different times during the day, all right? So you would want to be moving data, right? Is it on an hourly basis or on a daily basis or a weekly basis, whatever you do. So you need to automate that move. How data moves from those three databases into that warehouse. You need to automate it. And what do you use for automation? You use what we call Apache Flow. Okay? So you work with AWS cloud computing. Okay, so you work with AWS, so you can actually get jobs as what we call an AWS cloud engineer. You can actually get a job as an AWS cloud engineer. Then the last but not the least, you work with GitHub. So GitHub is majorly used for two major things, which is version control and CI/CD. Now, like I said, this training program is designed for beginners. Is designed for beginners. So you have, start from the basics and taking you all the way to the intermediate advanced level. So now let's take a look at the average salaries of a data engineer. So in the UK, it is £60,000. Like I said, these guys are one of the highest paid in the tech ecosystem at the moment. All right, £60,000. In Canada, it is $92,000 Canadian dollars. And in the US, six figures, 114,000 for average salary of a data engineer in the US. Now, this training program is for 4 months. It's 4 months, it's slightly longer. It's for 4 months. 3 months of immersive and practical-led training program. So you're just going to be working on projects. I'm going to show you at the end, all right, show you the kind of projects you're going to be working on. Key intuitive projects, okay? So you have 3 months of project-led learning, and you have 1 month of virtual internship. The internship is very important, and I'll explain it when I get to the internship aspect. So you're going to be working with Draw.io to draw out process map, okay? So if you're going to be moving data from different sources, you need to be able to plan and draw the process flow, all right? You'll also be working with Draw.io to do what we call data modeling, all right? To build your star snowflake schemas, your, ERDs, which is entity relationship diagrams. So you'll be working with Draw.io to build, these particular things within data engineering. You work with Python, you work with Pandas, you work with Apache Spark, you work with SQL, Linux, Apache Airflow, GitHub, ChatGPT also included, and you work with AWS. So these are the key technologies you're going to learn within, data engineering. Okay, so these are the things you learn with data engineering: 4 months training program, 3 months of learning, and 1 month free virtual internship. Now let's take a look at data science. All right, so data science basically is a senior brother to data analyst. All right, a data scientist is a senior brother to a data analyst. Now the data scientist is more focused on what? Building predictive models, all right? Building predictive models. Now, a data analyst is focused on 2 types of analytics, okay? Which is descriptive analytics and diagnostic analytics. Basically, you're telling the story on what happened and why that particular thing happened. That's what you're doing as a data analyst. But you see, you only know what happened and you know why it happened. So they're majorly focus on historical data, things that have happened in the past. That's the job of a data analyst. They never see into the future. They're always telling you what happened last week, what happened yesterday, what happened last month, but they're never going to tell you what's going to happen in the future, okay? So now the data scientist is now focused on more of prediction, all right? So you're doing prediction. And that's when you now start hearing stuff like statistical modeling, machine learning, deep learning. These are all techniques, in order for you to build what we call predictive models, okay? So for the data scientist training program, okay, you will learn statistics, okay? So statistics is one of the, that's the bedrock of data science. So you have to be pretty good with statistics, but it's easy to learn. And that's because we've been learning this right from time immemorial. So you remember mean, median, and mode, okay? Mean is what? Average. Mode, most frequent. Median, middle value. So that's what we call the measure of central tendency. There's measure of asymmetry. There's so many types of measure, but essentially it's easy to understand. And I can tell you for a fact, I've worked as a data scientist. You can easily learn this in conceptualize and deploy. All right, so you learn statistics. That's the first thing you're going to learn. Beginner, low-level statistics. Then you learn what? Forecasting and predictive analytics using Microsoft Excel. So the beauty about this is you're going to learn descriptive analytics, diagnostic analytics, but the key thing, next thing you're going to do is predictive analytics. So you're going one step further than a data analyst. And like I said, majority of these companies across the world are at different level of deploying analytics or deploying data science. So if you currently get a job as a data analyst with a company that they don't even use Python, they don't use visualization tools like Power BI and Tableau, would you say you can't deploy analytics or predictive analytics? I've worked with a top tech firm in Ireland. I worked with a top logistics supply chain, one of the largest logistics company in Ireland. And while I joined, they were only using Excel. They were using just Excel. And they wanted to build a prediction. They wanted to do a forecast. All right. So because they don't use Python in their organization, would I say that I can't build a forecast for them? No. I used Excel to build a forecast. Now, the initial forecast that was done prior to before I joined was about 75%. That was the accuracy was about 75%, below 75%. All right. Now, the forecast technique I used in Excel, the techniques I used in Excel were deployed, and it was a whooping 95% accuracy score. 95. All right. So you see how it moved from 75 to 95. And guess what? I'll maybe tell the story towards the end. All right. I got a job. Another company pushed me, all right, to join the organization. I wanted to tender my resignation to this organization. And guess what? They matched the offer of the organization, all right, and gave some additional perks to the new role, okay, to my role with the logistics organization. So you see, that's exactly what we tell most people: add value, all right, and that's where you'll be learning Excel, not just for descriptive and diagnostic analytics. You'll be taking it one further to do what we call predictive analytics, all right. So you learn Tableau, not just for analytics, you learn it for predictions also. So you use Tableau to do predictive analytics. And I'm going to show you some of the projects you work on. All right. So you get to work with SQL, you get to work with programming language, Python programming, you build what we call exploratory data analysis, machine learning, and computer vision. All right. So you work with statistics, Excel, Tableau, SQL, you work with Microsoft Fabrics, you work with Pandas, you work with Python, ChatGPT, and you would leverage Anaconda. All right. Average salary of a data scientist in the UK is £50,000. In Canada, it is $94,000. And in the US, it's $121. Also 6 figures. So it's literally good to be in the US. I won't lie to you. All right. Become a data scientist in 4 months. So the learning career part is for 4 months. All right. 3 months of learning and 1 month of free virtual internship. So you get to work more on projects, you get to work with a team, so on. I'm going to show you some of the projects you're going to work on. So don't worry, it's fine. All right. So 3 months of learning, okay, and 1 month virtual internship. So this is the career path for a data scientist. And trust me, it's 3 months of learning, 4 months plus the internship. All right. And you can start getting jobs across. Just learn, sit down for 4 months and learn a skill. All right. Learn a skill and you can actually get these jobs across the country. Now, last but not the least, let's look at Power Platform Engineer. Power Platform Engineering. Now, all right. What job site are we going to look at this time around? Glassdoor. We're going to look at Glassdoor. Now, majority of this job site, you would know them, but you will know that they can actually offer, remote opportunities. So let me just look for Glassdoor. All right. And I'm going to come to the main site. I'm looking for remote jobs using Glassdoor. Okay. So you see where you have jobs over here. Click on jobs. Okay. Give it a few seconds for it to load. And I'm going to search for Power Platform. Okay. And this is United States. You can see it's already stated the United States, and I'm going to search for this. Okay. Okay. So you see work from home only. So once you click on more, you click the drop down for more, you would see work from home only. Just click the start button. Just click the switch it on. Okay. Switch it on. Okay. And it will filter to only what? Work from home. And you see all of them currently remote. All majority of them are all remote roles. So let's take a look at this particular one. I'll need to register, I guess. Okay, no, I don't have to register. Okay, so you see this is basically looking at Power BI developer. Okay, this is what a junior Power Platform developer. And you can salary $80,000 to $90,000. This is all in the US. All right, $80,000 to $95,000. Power Apps developer. This is another role you can take on. And what is this? $45 to $55 per hour. Now, let me just tell you the truth. Okay, even me personally, I know I'm not doing full-time anymore. So I don't do full-time anymore. I just do fully remote. I'm just working freelance, moving from one project to the other. All right. So I currently, I'm floating. So I'm working for firms in Ireland, in the UK, and also in the US. So it's all project-based, okay? Project-based. I'm working with startups, working with companies. And those are the things I tell most people. Have a skill that would not require, that would make you a business. that would convert you to a business. See roles. All right, this is Power Platform developer, 90 to 99,000. And now, most people don't understand. People are literally sleeping on Power Platform engineering or Power Platform developer. People are sleeping literally on this role. Now, look at this. Average base pay is what 94,000. They literally tell you for a Power Platform developer, the average base pay is 94,000 in the US. All right. Power Apps developer, senior analytics solution engineer. All right. These are all remote Power Platform, dynamic CRM consultant, Power BI developer, $50 to $60 per what? Per hour. All right. And these are skills that you can actually learn. Just literally sit down. And I tell most people, just sit down. Focus. What you can learn in 3 months, 4 months tops, okay? You can actually become a superstar in order for you to be working fully remotely and be earning in dollars. All right. So these are the things that we tell most people. You don't need any, you don't need anything to get started. That's one thing you should know at the back of your mind. All right. I did economics for my first degree. Economics, nothing. Economics. All right. And that's what I leveraged. And funny thing is you can always search for all these job roles. Okay. So you can also, like I said, it doesn't have to be, it doesn't have to be just only on LinkedIn. You should look for data analysts. All the job sites we have here, all the ones I'm going to provide for you, you can literally get tech jobs, remote jobs roles on all the job sites. So you see, let's look for Power BI developer, because as a Power Platform developer, you can work as a Power BI, what we call Power BI developer, Power BI consultant, Power BI analyst, Power BI dashboard developer, Power BI business analyst, see job. So when people would say that, if you mean I don't have a job, I can't get a job, this is just Power BI developer. This is just one tool. This is just one of the technologies you're going to learn in Power Platform. Only one. This is just one. That's Power BI. Let me look for Power Apps. So you're going to learn Power Apps also. So you see apps developer. All right. Let me just take out the developer aspect because it might skew it. All right. Power Apps. All right. This is another Power Apps. Okay. And you can literally get quite a number of other roles, working with Power Apps, working with Power Platform, so on and so forth. All right. So this is Power Platform. And the 4 job places that we searched out, okay, you can literally search for all the jobs that we searched for. So from financial analytics, HR analytics, Power Platform, data engineering, data science, all the roles we talked about, you can literally come here and search for this role and they are available for you. They're not hidden. All right. It's just that most people don't have the skill to get it. It's very painful. All right. And I tell most people, please just sit down, learn. And that's why we started analytics, literally, okay, to get more people interested, to get people more aware that there are opportunities. All right. The funny thing is there are these places, majority of them are looking for cheap labor. Okay. So they're looking for cheap labor. So don't get it twisted. So Glassdoor, this is what these are some of the places you can get tech remote role. All right. So now let's look at what it means for you to get started in Power Platform engineering. How can you get started? Is this something that is absolutely technical? Absolutely no. You need no coding, no mathematics, and no statistics. Nothing. You don't need any coding. You don't need any mathematics. You don't need any statistics. Zero. And that's why I tell people these are things that you can get started. All right. So you don't need coding, you don't need maths, you don't need statistics, nothing to get started. Now, majority of you would know Power BI. Majority of you would know Power BI. But guess what? Let me show you something real quick. I'm going to go to my browser and I'm going to search for Power Platform. Okay, I'm going to search for Power Platform. Okay, now you see Power BI is just one. Power Platform, you see you have what? 4 tools in there. 4 tools. Power BI is just one of the tools in the Power Platform. So everybody's learning Power BI, but people are ignoring Power Platform as a whole. Do you understand? And that's how painful it is. Because you see everybody, oh, am I going to learn Power BI? Will I learn Power BI? Or what about Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent? We literally just search for a line for Power Platform Developer. And you see all these roles are available. All right. So Power Platform, it's a training program. It's one of the best training programs you can actually get for yourself. You will work with you do an introduction to Power Platform. All right, Microsoft Power BI, you learn Power BI, you learn SQL, you learn what we call Power Automate. So Power Automate is basically to automate business processes, to automate business processes. So you do things, or you do, so there are some things you do on a daily basis in your office that literally takes you about 30, 40 minutes to create. It can be automated. That's the beauty about Power Automate. And that's why they're looking for automation specialists. You see them looking for Power Automate specialists, automate specialists, automation specialists. So these are job roles I'm giving out for free, honestly speaking. Majorly for people that have gone through analytics. All right. But these are roles that exist, that literally you can latch into and be earning, in dollars. All right. So you have Power Automate, you have what we call Power Apps, Power Virtual Agent. Power Apps is to create application. If we have enough time, I'll probably show you the application I built. Some of the applications I've built in the past. All right. Microsoft Power Virtual Agent, another one. All right. Power Pages. Virtual agent is to build chatbots. So if you've ever gone on websites where you are chatting, all right, and you feel like you see a person's picture there, thinking you're chatting with Shegun. Okay, but trust me, you're chatting with a chatbot. Okay, you're chatting with a chatbot and it's conversing like it's a human. Okay, so these are the things that you don't know that actually exist. So you can actually build a chatbot, you can build an application without writing code. Any of these things you're learning, you'll notice that you are not writing code, you're not doing mathematics, and you're not doing statistics. All right. So these are the things you would learn. These are the things that you're going to work on. All right. Then the last but not the least is building your case and creating action. So the average salary of a Power Platform developer in the UK is $45,000, £45,000. In Canada, it is $72,000. And in the US, 110,000. You can see how, based on the salary, you can see where it is high in demand. So in the US, there's a high demand for Power Platform developers. Learn the skill, sit down, learn, and deploy. Start applying for these roles. All right. So the training program for Power Platform engineering for 3 months is a 3-month training program. All right. 2 months of learning and 1 month virtual internship. So you're going to work with Excel, you're going to work with Power Apps, you're going to work with Power BI, you're going to work with what we call a Dataverse. So it's a database solution that is deployed within the Microsoft ecosystem. So you're going to work with SQL. You work with SQL. You work with what we call Power Pages, Power Automate, Power Virtual Agent. You work with SharePoint, and you work with what we call a data AI builder. So this is an AI builder. So majority of the tools that you use here have AI enabled already within them. So Microsoft have their AI capabilities. So virtual agent here uses AI. The chatbots, the Power Apps uses AI also, all enabled by Microsoft, and you can get to leverage it. So you're going to be working with AI Builder also to make your work faster, more efficient, and easy to deploy. All right. So these are the career paths. All right, and these are some of the job sites. Some of the job sites you can actually work with. So please don't say there are no jobs. Don't. I tell most people, don't say jobs are not available. Oh, I can't get a job. See, if there are no jobs in the US, there are jobs in the UK. If there are no jobs in the UK, there are jobs in Germany. If there are no jobs in Germany, there are jobs in Australia. The key thing is for you to sit down and look for remote jobs. Okay? So you can use LinkedIn, you can use Built-in, you work with Glassdoor, Flexible. And literally that's how we made it practical and even broke it down into different skills. And if there are no jobs in one particular skill, all right, you'll likely not see it in another, you won't see it in all the job sites. And that's why, I tested out 4 places. Literally, you can go on Upwork, Remote.co, Well-Found, and Indeed. Do you know what? Let me just take Well-Found. I'll show you Well-Found real quick because of time. I'm going to show you Well-Found. So you know that I am not joking. This is Well-Found, okay? Find your next job. Find your next job. Let's just check it out, okay? Over 130,000 remote and local startup jobs. Exactly what I'm trying to tell you. These jobs exist. All right. So let's look at it. You have this is product roles. You can get business analysis, data analytics, and so on. But the key thing is you need to register. All right, you need to log in with your. So you see this, a data engineer, data analyst, data engineer, and you can look at also finance, HR recruitment roles, senior recruitment lead, talent acquisition, recruiter, recruitment consultant, financial and legal. All right. So these are things that exist. Some people don't know there are jobs, that you can get remotely. And that's why we're doing all this to create the awareness for people, all right, for people to get started. All right. Yes, and it's majorly startups. All right. So you can get a job with a startup working for firms like, I think they put their names there: Discord, Stripe, Atlassian, and Roblox. All right. So you can check out these job sites. They are all legit. We all know LinkedIn. Built-in, at least you've not heard of it. Maybe you've heard of it today. Glassdoor is very popular. Let's Job, it might be, you might have not. Which of these job sites have you heard of apart from LinkedIn, Glassdoor? Which other one? Indeed is also very popular, well found, sort of popular, but not very well. If you're not tech based, you might have not heard of well found. All right, and Upwork also. So these are places you can get, remote jobs. Okay. Now your learning roadmap with analytics. All right, your learning roadmap. Please focus, learn a skill. All right. So your learning roadmap in analytics is 2 months plus learning journey. And the reason why I add 2 month plus, I included 2 month plus is because it takes you what? It takes you either 2 to 3 months to complete a training program, then learning. All right. It takes you between 2 to 3 months, and that's why you have 2 months plus. All right. So it is project based. All the classes are project based. You're going to be working on projects. All right. Because you see these roles that are remote, they're always going to ask you, oh, can you tell me about the time you did this? You've worked in this. Have you built this? Can I see your portfolio and all that? So you need to be able to showcase your talent. You need to be able to showcase the skills you have. All right. So, and you'll be building your portfolio in the process. Okay. And the next thing is 1 month virtual internship. 1 month virtual internship. So with this 1 month virtual internship, you're going to work more on projects. You're going to do more projects, showcase your projects. All right. So you would likely be working on a minimum of 4 additional case study projects. All right. Now, these projects basically are projects that we have worked on. So like I said, I do more freelancing at the moment. All right. And within freelancing, I get to work on different projects. Now, these projects are what we turn into case studies for our students. So it's not just myself. We have the likes of Adeza, our facilitators. I'm going to show you some of our facilitators. Some of them are working as consultants here in the UK. So we create these case studies and use it to train our people. All right. That's what makes us unique. All right. Trust me. Now, virtual instructor classes, in the sense that you're going to be working with an instructor, you're going to be working with an experienced professional like myself, like Adeza, who will be holding your hands and guide you through the process. Okay. So you have that industry relevant experience, all right, or that person has experience guiding you, telling you what is attainable within the industry, all right, explaining what they do on a day-to-day basis, all right. So you'll be working with Zoom, for collaboration, Zoom, Google Meet, Google Classroom, and so on. All right. Classes are weekend based. All right. So even if you're a working professional, all right, you work Monday to Friday, all right, you can learn a new skill over the weekend. In the space of 2 to 3 months, you get a job and do all the things you need to do. So classes are Saturdays are Sunday. Okay. No, access your skills and work on projects. So, like I said, it's majorly projects. So after you finish the 2 month plus learning program, practical base, you'll be given a capstone project. All right, for another 2 weeks. Now, this capstone project is an end-to-end case study, end to end. So if you're working as a business analyst, it's going to be a business analysis case study, end to end, from project initiation all the way to deployment, and also what we call change management, and also what we call, handover, and so on and so forth. So you're going to be doing an end-to-end project. The same to data engineering, data science, data analytics. You'll be building end-to-end solutions for the business. So you also get the 1 month virtual internship where you get to work on more end-to-end projects. Okay, so it's all project-based. Now that's what we work with. Now, learning the technical skill is just one aspect. It's just one aspect. You're good with Power BI, you're good with Tableau, you're good with business analysis, gathering. You're doing all those technical side of things. It's just 50%. Learning technical skills alone is not enough to get you the job. That is just 50% of the work. Now, the other 50%, all right, is what we have here. Number one is CV review. Now, you're a global tech talent. You need to have a standardized CV. You need to have a good CV to be able to compete globally. And we're going to help you to do that. You're not going to do that by yourself. We will help you to do that. All right. Literally, you don't even need to disturb yourself. We will help you do it. Okay. We'll show you how to do it. All right. And there's something we call ATS, application tracking software. All right. So this software, all right, when I started applying for jobs, I won't lie to you. This was, when I started when I relocated and I was looking for jobs. Sometimes I apply for a job and immediately they would knock me rejection. I used to wonder, like, is there somebody sitting down on the computer and the person is waiting for me to apply in order for them to reject me? All right. Basically, it's a software. All right. So we're in the tech space at the moment where everything is automated. Even recruitment. Imagine a role, this remote role. Do you know how many people are applying for it at the same time? All right. So, there's a high influx of applications. So what do? They automate it. That if your CV doesn't match certain criteria, please bounce it off. Okay. And that's one of the things, keywords. All right. As a business analyst, there are certain keywords that should be on your CV. There are certain things, there's a way it should look like. There are standards that it should look like. All right. So they have the ATS. All right. CV review session. So we have the CV review session. All right. So we help you review your CV, make it look palatable. Okay. All right. So you can bamboozle people across different continents. LinkedIn optimization. You're going to be applying for jobs on LinkedIn. Okay. LinkedIn optimization is basically, it works like a search engine optimization, like Google. All right. So if a recruiter goes on LinkedIn and types in business analyst, does your profile come up? If they'll type in, they're currently looking for a data engineer, would your profile pop up? That's the question you need to ask yourself. All right. So if it doesn't pop up, you need to optimize your LinkedIn profile in order for you to be at the top ranking anytime they're looking for people within this particular role. So LinkedIn optimization, you will learn that. We'll teach you how to do that. We talked about Upwork. Upwork is a freelancing space. I'm going to show you within 2 seconds. So just for you to take a look at, you see how they describe themselves. So it's not that it's describing them. Find the best freelance job. So this place also is a very fantastic place for you to get remote freelancing jobs. So you have data analytics freelancer, data miner, data scientist, you have data scraper, data analyst, data cleaning analyst, so on and so forth. There's so many jobs, the same thing with business analysis, data engineering, and so on. All right. So Upwork is a freelancing place. You need a profile and you need to optimize your profile. So these are sites where you can get freelance jobs. Okay. So it will help you do that, to work with you to optimize your LinkedIn profile. Because when a new post comes in, you need to send out a proposal. Now, your proposal compiles of your projects and the things you work on. So we're going to help you to do that, okay? Navigating the job market. See, what we just did for you is literally the tip of the iceberg, all right? What we're doing for you, what is free currently, is just the tip of the iceberg, because a lot of people don't know how to navigate the job market. You just learn a new skill. How can you get a job? Is it only jobs in the UK I can apply to? Is it jobs in Canada alone I can apply to? Can I get jobs across different regions? Can I work 2 jobs? Can I do this? How do you navigate the job market? What kind of jobs can I even apply for? All right. So is it with data analyst? What jobs? Is it only data analytics I can apply to? Or can I apply for other types of jobs? Yes, you can. There's a ton of other jobs you can actually apply to. So that's what we're going to be teaching you with navigating the job market, telling you where to apply for this job, the type of jobs you can apply to. I will be guiding you through the journey, just like literally what I did today, and what days I did. Recommendation and reference letter. Majority of these employers are looking for people to back up the skill. All right. So if you're looking for a job in Germany, for example, you get a recommendation letter for you to recommend you. They're looking for an organization to recommend you. We will stand in to recommend you for the role. So even though it's data engineering, data analytics, power platform engineering, we will stand in to recommend you. All right. Or you're applying for a master's program or a PhD. All right. A majority of these, universities are looking for people that have experience, that are not beginners, that have either worked or they have upskilled themselves to a certain level. All right. So you have the recommendation and reference letter. So we provide this for you. Okay. Job and interview preparation. Now, that's the key one you should know that you will get from Analytics. So whenever you apply for these remote jobs and they schedule it for an interview, all right, you would not request for a one-on-one interview preparation because you've never applied for this job before. You really don't know how it's going to go out. You don't know how it's going to play. You don't know the kind of questions they're going to ask you. All right. So it's literally on us to prepare you. And even on the job support, when you get a job and you feel like you're not confident enough, we would also support you. So we have all the job support, okay, that will still not just interview preparation, we still have on the job support. So you have issues with we are running a report, you don't know how to do it, you've forgotten how to do it, and you need a report to go out that particular day. We can jump on calls with you, help you solve the problem, and you're good to go. All right. So interview preparation skills is very important, and we not just teach you, we also work with you, prepare you for those interviews. All right, those are the key things you should know at the back of your mind. All right, so these are some of the people you're going to be working with. So myself, if you may know, I'm based in the UK. These are also based in the UK. We have Nene, commercial analytics professional. So she currently works with Zillus, all right, which is an arm of Nike. Okay, who works with Zillus, which is part of Nike essentially. All right, Inena is a product manager based in the UK. Obina is a data scientist based in Canada, data scientist / data engineer based in Canada. Shell is a business analyst in the UK. Emmanuel, human resources manager with one of the top big tech firms here in Nigeria, actually. Ibrahim is a doctor, but also a machine learning engineer. A very fantastic guy, someone I absolutely have high regards for. All right, is a doctor, but currently uses machine learning within the medical space. So it builds machine learning algorithms to detect, diseases, builds computer vision application to detect objects and scans, when you go for scan and all that. So he's a machine learning engineer, all right, but still works as a doctor, all right? Fantastic, beautiful, very smart, intelligent individual. We have Kelvin, data engineer, also based in Nigeria. Teniola is based in the UK, customer digital. All right. We have Abdurrahman, data science consultant with top Big Four. So Tani and Abdurrahman they both work for different, but work for Big Four companies here in the UK. Francis works as a business analyst with one of the top tech firms here in the UK. So you see, these guys are on LinkedIn. You can check them out. So Sharon currently works with Visa. Francis works with one of the top tech firms here in the UK. Kelvin works with a company based in Canada, but currently resides in Nigeria. So he works remotely for the company based in Canada. Ibrahim is based in UK. Emmanuel is based in Nigeria. So we have quite a number. And this is just this is literally just a handful of people that we we're facilitating the program. So we have people across the world. We have people in Ireland, we have people in Germany, people in France, and people across different programs. All right. So, these are just a handful of people. Now, we have a program starting next month, okay, on the 5th of August. So now, we've told you the tech opportunities, we've talked about remote opportunities, we've talked about sponsorship. But the key thing you should know at the back of your mind is you need to learn the role. You need to learn the skill. You need to learn the skill. All right. Now, an essential key thing you need to know. So our program started on the 5th of August. All right. It is 600 Canadian dollars, 400 pounds, and 320,000 naira. Okay. Now, for people that wait to the end of the session, you get a discount. Okay. You get what we call an early bird discount. You get what we call an early bird discount. Now, what's the discount? So you can see that is crumbled, and now we have this. So this is only for the first 20 people, right? So we are looking to work with people that are looking to upskill themselves and get into the tech industry, remote or sponsored, whatever the case is. We want more people to get these jobs. All right. So we're going to be looking at all the career paths. So we have business analysis, data analytics, full stack data science, HR, and financial analytics. Okay. And this, instead of you paying 600, instead of you paying 400 pounds, you can actually pay 300 pounds. All right. So you have 100 pounds discount. So in Canadian dollars, rather than paying 600 Canadian dollars, you can pay 500 Canadian dollars. But this is only available for the first 20 people, bear in mind. And rather than paying 320,000 Naira, you can pay 270,000 Naira. So rather than paying 320, you're paying 270,000. Now, the beauty about this is you can also pay in 2 installments. Now, the first installment, all right, you can pay 180,000 Naira to secure your position, or 200 pounds to secure your position, or 350 Canadian dollars to secure your position. And the second payment comes 1 month into the training program. All right, 1 month into the training program. So you make your first payment to secure your position. Please ensure that you're part of the first 20 people to register. And thereafter, you can, make your balance payment 1 month into the training program. For data engineering, all right, it's slightly more expensive, and that's because of the technologies, the tools, the complexity of the training program, and all the things that we have put together to ensure that you get the best out of the training program. So it's 600 Canadian dollars, 350,000 Naira, and 400 pounds. Okay, it's 400 pounds if you're paying in full. All right. Now, you could also pay in 2 installments of 450 Canadian dollars. All right. And if you're going to be paying in Naira, it is 250,000 Naira for the first installment and 300 pounds for the first installment for data engineering. There's only data engineering that's slightly more expensive, but all other training programs are 180,000 or 200 pounds or 350 Canadian dollars. For data engineering is 450 Canadian dollars, 250,000 Naira, and 300 pounds. Paying in 2 installments, and you can pay 1 month into the program. You can pay balance, you can balance 1 month into the training program. So please note that this is only available for the first 20 people to register. Please be part of the first 20 people to register, because I get a lot of people to say that, oh, Ifemena, I waited at the meeting, I enjoyed your session, it was wonderful. Please, I want to pay the discount amount. Once we each 20 people, you would not be required, all right, to pay the discount amount, unfortunately. So please, even if you don't have the full 180,000 Naira currently, secure yourself, secure your position. So you can actually pay 100,000 Naira to secure your position and balance before the start of the program. So the program is starting on the 5th of August, okay? The program is starting on the 5th of August. Secure your position today, even with 100,000 Naira or 100 pounds, you can secure your position. And, once before the program starts on the 5th, ensure you balance your payments. Ensure you balance the 180 or 200 pounds in order for you to get started. All right. That's a key thing you need to have at the back of your mind. So you can pay 100 pounds or you can pay 100,000 Naira in order for you to secure your position. Be part of the first 20 people to register. And thereafter, you complete that before the start of the program. Then 1 month later, you can balance. So that's enough flexibility to ensure that you are ready to start the program and get the best out of the training program itself. Okay. Also, you can click on the link. All right. You can see the links have been sent to the chat. I can see my colleagues sending it to the chat already. So once you click on the link, all right, it's going to take you to our main stack where you can make payments online. So for people that want to use you want to pay by card, okay, you can just click on this link. You see the link here, main stack. All right, it will take you to this particular page. So you see the first link there is get access to all program brochures. So you can click on that. It's going to open a new tab for you, and you'll see you have all the brochures in there. So you can actually take a look at them. You see this is the business analysis brochure, and basically it talks about the business analysis program and what you're going to learn in the program. All right. Also the same thing with the data engineering track program. You see data engineering, all the things you're going to learn in data engineering. You can see all the programs you're going to learn, progression, and details of all the things you're going to learn in the next 3 months in data engineering. So basically that's the brochures that you have full access to. All right. Now, once you make payments, you see After making payment, kindly upload your receipt using the button below. So once you click on this link, all right, once you click on the link, you see, once you click on the link to register, all right, please click here to upload your receipt. Click here to upload your receipt. Once you've uploaded your receipt, you're good to go. Now, if you want to make payments using your Naira card account, you can actually use Paystack for all the program. Once you click on either first or part-time first part payment, click on that and it will take you to this and you can actually pay for part payment or full payment of any of the program. So this is use Paystack when you are making what? Naira card payments. For non-Naira card payments, you can actually use PayPal, all right, for pound payments, for Canadian dollars, you can also use PayPal. And if you want to make direct transfers, all right, you have the UK bank account down here and the Nigerian bank account also. So we have a Fidelity bank account and we have a Wise bank account that we use to receive UK funds, all right? Those are the things you need to have on the back of your mind. So please, guys, there are enough opportunities for you to latch into. Enough. And the only problem is people don't have the skills to get started. So please be part of the first 20 people to register, ensure you secure your position, and you're good to go. So without wasting too much time, let me just quickly show you the platform where we have all our case studies, all our program. Okay. So taking a look at this, okay, taking a look at the program, I'm just going to show you, we have the business analysis, the UK and North America. So essentially the business analysis, we have morning and evening sessions where we try to accommodate those guys in the US, in Canada and other regions, and even people that are working weekends. So we have people in the UK that are currently working weekends. So we have classes for the weekends, the evening session on the weekend. All right, so that's why we have the two of them in there. I'm just going to take you through the UK class, okay, and show you what the different business analysis. All right, so looking at this, all right, you see everything is structured from first class they ever had, okay, from the first class. I'm just going to scroll down and you see welcome to BA. So you have the welcome kit. So the welcome kit basically talks about welcome users to analytics, all the things or benefits you will get from programs, and basically ensuring that you have everything, all right, for the program itself. So you see the next thing is for you to install. So you're going to be working with SQL, you're going to be working with PostgreSQL, how to download Power BI for a MacBook user. So basically all the installation that you need to get started. Now, skills assessment, we have that session, which is just to assess your skills, get you started, and get you prepped for the program. Then you see the first class, Microsoft Excel class 1. Microsoft Excel class 1. And I'm going to show you the record. You see, this is recorded. Every class is recorded, and you have lifetime access to the materials. All this material, you have lifetime access to the materials. So you have the class recording. And now let me show you the case study. This is the case study. All right. So this is the data set actually. Just give me a second. Class material. And you see this is the case study. All right. So you see this is case study, and you see the case study. All right. All right. In this case, we would analyze deaths due to malaria across different regions. Okay. So you have this first case study just to introduce you to analytics. All right. To provide you that base knowledge. Like I said, majority of the roles across different regions are incorporated a little bit of analytics into business analysis. And that's why we're teaching you analytics. So the first class is just to introduce you to analytics, how you can use Excel to answer critical business decisions, critical business questions. Now let's take a look at the next one, okay? This is class 2, Saturday and Sunday, like I rightly said. All right, so solving the Crixus case study, all right? So you see this, I'm going to take the class material, and this is the case study. And like I said, these are actual business case studies that we have worked on, all right? And that's what we're using to train our participants. Now let's take a look at this real quick, okay? All right, so you see this. Through these case studies, we would explore the challenges and opportunities that arise when seeking to understand the need of customers in the travel industry. And we will provide insight into how travel companies can use customer insight to develop innovative and engaging services. Fantastic. So this is what you'll be doing in the second class in business analysis. And like I said, this is an actual this is a last actual case study that you're going to work on. Something that we have this is something that we actually deployed in other organizations, and that's what we're going to be teaching our participants. Bear in mind also you have the class recording. So at every point in time, you can click on the recording and you have access to the recording. So you can see this is about 3 hours and 8 minutes. So our classes on the weekend are 3 hours. All right. So that's why you have 3 hours and 8 minutes in there. All right, so all weekend classes, you have the Watch Me Do It videos, you have Power BI classes, you have SQL classes, you see all the classes, and they just add their first BA class today. So you see this was posted around 4:59 p.m. So they have the class recorded today's session. So let's just take a look at today's session. So you see, and this is about 2 hours, 52 minutes. First class introducing you to business analysis and all the things you need to understand, all the things you need to know, so on and so forth. And I'm just going to just give me a second, right? And one thing I usually show most people, after you go to the classroom, you have the recording, everything is embedded for you at every point in time, everything is there for you. But now, like I said, the training program is only for the first, this discount is only for the first 20 people. So that's what I'm telling you. I'm nudging you guys now to secure your position. All right. Now, if you take a look at this is the Business Analysis UK, I'm going to show you the people in class. And you see you have what? 40 students in class. 40 students. Telling you that only 20 people actually had to make payment for the discounts. Only 20 people out of these 40 people made payment for the discount amount. The main 20 paid the original price of 320,000 naira or £400. Okay. Now, the same thing with data science. I'm just going to walk you through data science, data engineering, Power Platform. You see all the programs are there, arranged in other. So data engineering, you see all the case studies, all the assignments you're going to be working on. All right. So you see material. I'm just going to show you the material. This is SQL basics, and everything is case study based. All right. Everything is case study based. And you can see why data science, all right, and all the things practical practice questions. So you see the practice question you're going to be working with. All right. These are all, and let's see the case study for this. So you see the business case. Like I said, the only way you can understand is through working with case. And looking at this is Robust Rental Limited, all right? So as Robust Rental continues to grow, the management team has recognized the importance of having a central repository for their business data. They need a robust and reliable database solution to ensure seamless operation and facilitate data-driven decision-making. Your role as a data engineer, all right, your role is to design and implement a comprehensive database system that caters to RRL specific requirement, the database solution, and that's exactly what you'll be working on in this particular case study. Fantastic, brilliant, smart, things that you can actually talk that, I've built a database solution for a rental company based off in Canada. All right, that's exactly the sort of experience that you need to kickstart your journey as a data engineer. All right. So this is what you'll be learning in data engineering. All right. This is what you'll be learning in data engineering. Okay. For data science, it's the same thing. Data analytics. I'm going to take a look at data analytics. We have the North America and just have the EU. All right. The same thing with data analytics. Okay. It takes you through all the things you need to learn. And before I move into this, I just really want to show I want to show you guys, these are the WhatsApp group. I don't want to show you my WhatsApp real quick. Session is recorded. So let me just take a few seconds to show you one of the major classes, some of the classes for the business analysis. All right. And if we have enough time, we'll probably show you the one for data analytics, the one for data science. Just give me a second. So we have this. I'm usually proud of, this is, and I usually use the classes that just started. So this is the July cohort. Okay, this is the July cohort. You see, they started on the 1st of July, 2023. That's when they started. This particular group, C2307. Okay, so that they started on the July. So these people started just about 3 weeks ago, barely 3 weeks ago. Okay, 3 weeks ago. Okay. And let me show you what they did within the first week of starting the program. So like I said, they started with Excel, teaching you Excel. You can see everybody's asking questions where the recording, people are asking for the recording. They have access to the recording. They get access to the recording. They start to practice. Let me show you what people started doing on the 1st. So they started on the 1st of July. Now, looking at this, this is what? This is the 4th. You see, 4th of what? Of July. And let me show you what people are already doing. Okay, so you see, first dashboard came in on the 4th. They started on the 1st of July. The first reports built, came in on the 4th of July. All right, the second one came in again on the same day, and you see everybody started coming in with their reports. Everybody started coming in with their own report. And this is people that started within what? Within a week. This is just 3 days, actually. All right, the first one was the 1st of July, which is a Saturday. So they had Sunday, they had Monday to, work on other projects, practice, and they were able to train in this particular aspect. So you see, these are the things that you could do that people are currently working on and people are building with data analytics. All right. If we have enough time, I'll show you that for data analytics, data science, all these wonderful projects that these people are working on. All right. So these are the things, this is data analytics. Let me just show you the live class. So they are the live class today, class material. I'm not going to show you the material, login details. So these are all, the material is case study based, okay? They're all case study based and you have access to all that. The same thing with data science, okay? Full stack data science, okay? Okay, so the classwork, also the same thing. You see, let me just show you this. So you see this is the first case study, all right? US accident, another case study will come in, all right? Statistical classes, watch me do it videos. And all these are designed so that you can actually know exactly what you are doing in class. All right. So these are the things that you have in there, all practical, all case study based. And please, all what we're trying to do is tell you can actually get this remote role, this sponsored job, if you settle down within the next 2 to 3 months, learn a skill. And trust me, you will be part of the people, giving testimonials in the next couple of months. So discount is only available for the first 20 people. Please, click the link to register or pay directly to the bank account details, and let's get started. Let's work together. That's why we're here. Let's work together, guys. All right, this is 12 midnight. Adeza, do you want to answer the questions?
Yeah, thank you, Efe, for that fantastic session. And we'll just round off with taking a few questions and then we'll call it a day. All right. Again, just to reiterate, I can see Akinwumi, Mariam, you said you've made payments. So all I'll suggest you do is send us a message to the number that I sent to you. All right. Send us a WhatsApp message and also fill the registration form where you have to upload your proof of payment. However, you've not been able to upload that. Okay, so you can't submit without uploading something. So I'd recommend you upload something. If after completing a transaction, you receive an email, you can take a screenshot of the email. Don't put any sensitive details in there and fill that registration form. So we're going to confirm your details. The registration will require that you enter your email, your phone number. So once we confirm your payments, you receive a welcome kit. Okay, the welcome kit contains all the materials you need for the program. All right, so no worries. Akinwumi, Miriam, just do that and then we have it resolved for you. Michael is asking, please, can I have the bank information? So ISOCIVE, you can send that again one more time to Michael. I think that'll be fantastic. Now, one thing Femena touched on when he went to the Google Classroom, and I don't know if you saw it, is how to schedule an interview preparation session. Now, we've talked about a lot of things, and you see the interview preparation scheduling. So all you need to do, you have an interview coming up. And we get this all the time. Okay, so people in the UK, they have interviews coming up. I have an interview preparation session with somebody who has a call. He has a chat with a recruiter on Monday. So all you need to do is click on the link, schedule an interview session, and you'd work with me, you'd work with Femena and all the senior data associates we have within the team to prepare you for your interview. Now, guess what? All the things we've shown you so far, from the beginning where you transition from a Tier 4 visa to a Tier 2 visa, to getting remote jobs, to transitioning into tech, involves you to strategically position yourself from learning the skills to also learning the additional 50% that enable you make the transition. Okay. Now, one of the things you'd see in the UK when you get into some of these organizations, especially with the tech-related roles, data analysts, data engineers, you'd see a lot of the Indians. And I wouldn't really see people that look like myself, dark-skinned Africans, people of the Black community, holding those roles. You'd find most of them in the warehouse, doing care jobs and so on and so forth. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but we're just creating the awareness for you to know that there are so many more opportunities available and out there for you, all right? And once you decide to take and make that transition, to take a skill, learn a skill to make the switch, you know that Tenalytics is the place to go to, all right? So I'm just going to take a couple of questions and then we'll wrap up because time is already far spent. Okay, will the discount be available by Wednesday? Victor, what I'll recommend for you to do is, like Femena mentioned, secure the discounts, all right? Secure your slots by making a commitment. And all you need to do is to make the complete first payment before the program starts. So the program starts on the 5th of August. If you're paying in Naira, instead of paying, is 180 for the first payment. You can make 100K. If you don't have 100K, you can pay 90K, depending on what you have. And then before the program starts, you must pay that first installment of 180. All right. So that's the only way you guarantee that you secure the discount. Okay. If it's available, if we don't have up to 20 by Wednesday, then you still benefit from it. But if we have up to 20, then it means you'll have to make the payments without the discounts. I hope that answers your question. I'll take Oyindamola. I'll ask you to unmute yourself, Oyindamola. Go ahead and ask a question.
Hi, good morning. Good morning.
Yes, it's morning already. Good morning, Oyindamola.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
good morning. Thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for sharing so much with us tonight. So I have a question. If you're someone that has actually worked, like that has done a couple of projects in data analytics, right? But you're not finding it really easy to secure a role. So I'm saying projects in that you've analyzed retail data, you've analyzed customer data, marketing data, and a lot of data like that, but you're finding it difficult to land a role. So do you guys mentor? If I do not necessarily want to go through the training and I just want to start from CV review, LinkedIn optimization, mentorship for interviews, do you guys do that?
Well, that's a good question, Oyindamola. At the moment, no, we don't. Okay. And I'll tell you the reason why we don't. All right.
Okay.
Now, when we mentor you, all the things that Femena mentioned, from how to navigate the job market to the mentorship, interview preparation, we have delivered the training itself. So we know the standards, the projects you worked on, and you have a portfolio. So I'm going to ask a very quick question. Do you have a portfolio of all your projects?
Yes, I do.
All right, brilliant. So if you have a portfolio, so when you join our program, you create a portfolio, you have all those projects. We can vouch for the projects to say that if you have this quality of projects, then you can actually make the switch. Now, one of the things, we've tried it once and then we stopped. And I'll tell you the reason why we stopped. We brought this gentleman on board with the aim to mentor and help him get a job. But what we found out was, yes, he said he knew how to use Excel, but guess what? He didn't know most of the things we expected him to know at that level. At the end of the day, he had to go all the way back to joining the program. All right. So if you want to still enjoy the benefits of the mentorship session, of the interview preparation, which is very, very key, then you just have to register to pay for one of the programs. It could be the same data analytics, or it could be the data science for you to learn, additional skills to what you already have. I don't know if that helped, Oyindamola.
Yeah, it did. Thank you.
All right, but just to also, give you some nuggets. If you're struggling to get a job, you might want to look at your CV. Okay, so what jobs are you applying to? What are the requirements, and what do you have on your CV? Because a little tweak on your CV can make a lot of difference. Okay, and you receive phone calls from recruiters. Do you get interview opportunities at all?
Oh yeah, sure. I mean, so far I've been able to interview with a couple of companies like Lloyd's, Google. Um, Recently I had one with a tech startup, but I'm just getting feedback from them. So it's just really, I feel like with the whole visa thing, students, but I'm not trying to limit myself. I'm not going to use that as an excuse because I've heard success stories. So,
Yeah,
but basically, I feel like that's just my face right now. Having done a couple of projects, even in Python, even in building segmentation models and a lot. I don't want to go deep down like that, but yeah, it's what it is. So that was how I was just asking if you guys do basically CV review, but it's fine. I understand that you have to. I mean, we start with you guys with the training, and then you have to take us all the way because so you can vouch for the projects we have done, the knowledge, what you know, and then yeah, it makes sense. So I'll do a review, personal review, and then I'll decide. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Wayne Damola. I think, well, if you're getting calls from a recruiter, that's a good thing. So the next thing would be to look at your interview preparation. So how do you position yourself during these interviews? How do you answer the questions that, are asked? If Ifemena touched on a couple of things as simple as talking about your story. Okay, how have you used data to solve a problem before? You have a customer segmentation project. Why did you build the project? What company did you work for? Do you talk about those things like you worked on projects, or do you sell them to the recruiters that you actually worked for a company? Because that's one of the first things we do at Tenalytics. We tell you that the moment you register for a program, you are not a learner. You're not going to tell anybody that you're a learner. You are a data analytics consultant with Tenalytics. You are a data scientist with Tenalytics. You are a business analyst with Tenalytics. So when you're applying to jobs and they ask you, what's your experience? Have you done this before? Those projects you've worked on, they become your work experience. You sell those projects like you worked for clients on projects with Tenalytics. So that's very key. And that's how people have been getting jobs. Like I mentioned, I think I gave Desola's story. I'm going to quickly do a run through of other success stories, but you need to look at how you position yourself during the interview sessions itself, how you sell yourself to them. I think that would play a major role in you landing the job. But all the best, Wayne Damola. I think, like you said, you need to do a review and make one or two changes and make a decision eventually. We're always open. Have questions, feel free. We're going to have drop-in sessions during the week, especially for those who have specific questions around, okay, I studied this in the university. I'm not sure of the program to select. All right. So we'll have drop-in sessions for you to help answer those questions. So once you've made up your mind, you can jump on one of the drop-in sessions. We get your questions and help you resolve them. Or if you have made up your mind to join any of the programs, you just go ahead and make payments and you'll be a part of the community. All right.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good night. You're welcome. All right. Good night. Okay. So let's hear from Abigail very quickly. Abigail, please go ahead.
Okay, thank you very much for the training so far. I really had a good time. So I just want to find out, like the last thing you mentioned about like you not knowing what program to join is actually like one of the questions I would like to find out, because you see yourself, at some point you are confused. You don't really know if you should join, if you should go for business analysis or you should do you should do the other part, the data analytics and everything. So that's like my first question. So my second question is like, some employers will tell you like some of the requirements, they are not just I've worked on this project. Some of them are looking for like years of experience in that field. So like, how do you, and you don't really have years of experience, even though you've worked on few projects. So that's like my own challenge. So I don't know, I would be glad if you can help me address this. Thank you.
Absolutely. And these are things we get every single day, because now let's say you're a medical doctor, or you're a nurse, or you've always been an accountant, or you've been in strategy or in procurement. You've never done anything analytics, but that's not a problem at all. So what do? You package yourself. Okay, you package yourself. How do you package yourself? Now, you've learned all the skills. Let's choose data analytics as an example, right? You've learned Excel, you've learned Power BI, Tableau, SQL. You know how to use ChatGPT for analytics. You know Microsoft Fabric for data analytics. So you know how to use these tools to solve problems. Now, your previous experience, okay, as a supply chain analyst or as a strategy, somebody in strategy or an accountant or in finance, you have never done anything analytics. You see your role of what you've done before, all the things you've done before, you're going to tweak them to have a flavor of data analytics. All right. So let's assume you were in education, you were a teacher, and you've learned data analytics and you want to transition, right? So part of your responsibilities while you were a teacher, you're going to tweak it to say that in order to have I'm just giving an example, right? So in order for us to have a central repository to contain all the students' records and data for easy analysis, I used my SQL skills to develop a database and created tables for all the student scores and all the student data. Now, this made it easy for us to connect our Power BI to that database to create dashboards that helped us to monitor the performance of students. All right. Now, you created a database to have the students' data. You used Power BI, connected it to the database, and you created dashboards out of that database. As a teacher, you didn't do that as a teacher, right? But now you have the skills. Your years of experience cannot go to waste. So you package your previous years of experience to contain data analytics flavor. So at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell them that, oh, I'm 3 months in data analytics, or I've just been doing this, I'm a learner, I'm learning with analytics. No, you've done this for the past 3 years, past 4 years, past 5 years. What are the things you did? You look at your past experience, you tweak it to contain analytics, and that's how you sell yourself. All right. The projects you work on, you're not going to tell them you worked on projects. You're going to tell them that I worked on these different projects for real companies. And that's how you sell yourself. And that's how all our participants sell themselves in order to get the job. Because guess what? The same skills you deployed in solving your capstone, in solving your internship, you're going to solve working on the real life projects you'll be working on during your learning journey are the same skills you would apply in the real world. All right. Most of the time, the employer would say, oh, you need Excel, you need Power BI, you need SQL, you need this, you need that. At the end of the day, your day-to-day only involves the use of Excel and maybe SQL. And you have a team where you have other team members that will focus on the other tools. But of course, it's good for you to know all of this. But eventually, you are working on the different problems in the company, leveraging the skills you have. Okay, so it's all about packaging. Years of experience is never a problem. You tailor your CV to fit into the new role you are trying to apply to, including your LinkedIn as well. And that's why the CV review, the LinkedIn optimization are very critical for you. The program to register for, you also talked about that. Okay, so a lot of people are torn in between, oh, which one would get me the job the fastest? Which one would get me paid 60,000, 85,000, 100,000 pounds? All right, that's usually the question. So for all the programs we offer, we major and we focus on 3 criteria: easy to learn, easy to transition and get a job, and high and rewarding salaries. All right. So all you need to do is I'll suggest to you that you take your time and look at all the different roles. Okay. You can go back and listen to Efemena. He took his time to break down, oh, this is what a data analyst does. The business analyst is that middle person between the stakeholders and the development team, coming up with applications, process mapping, process optimization, and so on and so forth. So which one do you think you can easily fall into? Okay. If you don't like to code, some people will tell you that, look, I never want to learn to program at this stage. I never want to learn to program. I think that's just going to be a lot of stress for me. I just want to learn something that I can learn easily, get a job, and so on. So I would want the business analysis because I don't want to program. I don't want to learn statistics and all of those things that Femena talked about. All right. So these are key questions you would want to ask yourself. If you don't mind programming, if you don't mind learning Python, then data science, data engineering, you can look towards those areas. Now, once you've looked at that section of the program, the recording when you get that later, and you still cannot make up your mind on the specific program to join, we're going to have drop-in sessions, one-on-one sessions during the week. Okay, so if you're in a WhatsApp group before joining this program, if you received an email from us, if you received any message to get you to join this session, then you'd also receive the recording. You're going to get the link for you to schedule a one-on-one session. All right. And from that one-on-one session, we get to, help you out in answering those specific key questions. But again, at the end of the day, it's a personal decision that you would have to make. All the career paths are fantastic. I've worked as a data analyst. I've worked as a data scientist. I've worked as a data engineer. All right. So they are skill-based. I studied industrial chemistry in the university, nothing related to tech, nothing related to computer science, computer engineering. And that's one of the things we always tell people. You don't need a specific, degree or a specific background to get into any of these career paths. And all of them are simply amazing, depending on the one you decide to go for. All right. For those who are saying they haven't received the session, the recording for today's session, the earlier session, and for this one. So just give some time, because sometimes Zoom takes time to, convert the recording. As soon as they're available, rest assured that you get them first thing in the morning on Sunday if you haven't received it already. And also check your spam. Okay, check your spam as well. Now, if our emails always goes to spam, what you need to do is add us to your contact. Okay. Select or indicate the email as not spam so that the email drops in your inbox and you get all these, the key materials that you need at the end of every session like this. But rest assured that if you filled the attendance that my colleagues circulated in the chat, you would receive the recording. Okay, you'd receive the recording for any session you join. Just rest assured that would happen. You don't need to even send your email. All you need to do is fill the attendance and you'd receive the recording and all the materials. Okay, Nathaniel, please, very quickly. I think I'll just take Nathaniel. That's the last question I'll take, and then we'll wrap up for today. Nathaniel, please go ahead.
All right, thank you very much, Adezak. Just a quick one. It's just like a follow-up to the last question. In a situation where a participant wants to leverage on the discount, and of course, after, I observed that when you want to upload your details, there is need for you to select the course or the training you want to apply for. And for a participant that still need this one-on-one discussion with respect to getting clarity as to which of the training you want to, enroll in, what do you advise? It actually applies to me. I intend to make part payment, but I discovered that on the form where I need to upload the receipt, I need to pick the program I'm registering for. And I'm turning between two programs, which I need like a kind of discussion or clarification from your team. So what do you advise such person doing? So that's just my simple question. Thank you.
All right, very good question, Nathaniel. It's not a problem at all. Okay, so when you're filling the form, make your payment, select the program you feel like you want to join today, and have that session with us. And if you want to change afterwards, you can always change before the program starts. The program starts on the 5th of August. So if you select data engineering today, for example, or you select data science, you can change it tomorrow. You can change it every day until the day before the program starts. All right. So it really doesn't matter. It's not set in stone once you select a specific program, but for you to fill the form, you need to select something. So if data analytics or data science or data engineering is what you want today, all right, make your payment, make the part payment, select the program, your preference. If you want to change it afterward, you can do that. Okay, you can even still change your program the day before the program starts or the program commences. All right, I don't know if that helps, Nathaniel.
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. So I'm just quickly going to rush through this and then we'll call it a day today. Now, Sunday got a job as a regulatory data analyst in the UK. He joined our full stack data science program. And this was about 2 weeks ago. Sunday got a job. He sent us a message. He hasn't completed his program. He's still doing his internship. And this is where we always tell people. So he's a regulatory data analyst here in the UK, still undergoing his internship. All right. And he secured this role and he sent the message to one of the data coaches in the data science program. Okay. So that's Sunday, sent a message, oh, I got my contract. And we are super excited for Sunday. All right. The company has reached out to me to provide a reference for Sunday. And I'm working on that. Tomorrow, I'm going to send in the reference and the recruitment process is sealed and completed. All right. So this is Sunday's story. He joined the full stack data science program. Nathaniel as well. Nathaniel, fantastic guy. He works in Spain. He got a job in Spain with the largest private research pharmaceutical company in Barcelona. All right. One of our senior data associates worked with Nathaniel, and you can see he sent a message. Gracias. I got the job, man. Got a confirmation. Thank you so much for the help and interview preparation and everything. And Nathaniel got this job after joining our full stack data science program. Super amazing. All right. Amaka also works with one of the local council in the UK over here. She got a job as a business support analyst in the UK after joining our data analytics program. All right. So this is Amaka's story. Amaka joined in January. Sunday joined, I think, in February this year. And Nathaniel joined, I think, around February or March or thereabout. Amaka joined in February as well. She got a job a few weeks ago. All right. And then we have Desola. I think I mentioned Desola earlier. Desola got a job with the NHS here in the UK. And when I was showing you the companies that offer sponsorship with the NHS, you would get a sponsorship when you apply to the NHS. She got a job as a business analyst. If you remember the code, the shortage occupation code for the business analyst is 2035. All right. And with this job code, it's sure that you're going to get a skilled worker visa. You apply for that and you get that eventually. What is interesting is Desola, she sent her presentation to me the day before she had the presentation to the recruiters. And I gave feedback. There was really nothing to give a feedback about because our associate had helped her prepare for the interview. She has prepared her presentation. They had gone through the presentation together. So all I told her was that ensure you present within the time limits. Okay. She went ahead, she did her presentation and she landed the job. All right. So she's sending me a message saying that, hello, Adeza. I'm pleased to inform you that I got a job with the NHS. Okay. Super amazing. That's Desola's story. This is Stephen. And just like so many other people, you come into the UK, you do the customer center job. All right. Stephen was a customer center analyst with Tesco. Oh, sorry about that. With Tesco. Okay. Now, Stephen joined the program in January and he has been able to transition to a junior data analyst with the Access Group in the UK after completing the data analytics program. Again, we had interview preparation sessions for Stephen, sent me messages, we had conversations, I sent him materials. You can see the data analytics questions and answers, job preparation documents, and he went through them. Okay. And eventually he sent me the job. Boss, good evening. I got the job. He even sent me the first video of when he was unboxing his laptop and the other items that was sent to him. And we're super excited for him. Okay. What's the job title? Super excited, junior data analyst. All right. Because we had so many interview preparation sessions for Stephen. And that's where the whole thing comes in. Just like the question the lady asked the other time, oh, I've been trying to apply, but I really haven't been able to secure a job. All right. So you need to look at the process. Where's the problem? Is it your CV? Is it the project? Is it the way you're selling yourself during the interviews? Okay. And you need to build interview experience. And during the mentorship session, we simulate mock interviews. All right. We simulate mock interviews where we call people randomly the week before. They get job descriptions. They send us their CV. They prepare ahead of the mock interview. And during the mock interview, we are asking them questions. They are responding, and other people are learning from the process. With that, you build your interview experience. And that's, more, it gives you a higher chance of acing that interview eventually. We have Benga. Benga is in Poland, and he got a job as a business data analyst after completing the data analytics program with us. And just like every other participant, we worked with Benga as well. All right. Interview sessions. I had one session with him. Our associate had 2 other sessions. So altogether, Benga had 3 interview preparation sessions, and he got 3 job offers. Okay. He eventually took the one that gave him the best in terms of hybrid working, remuneration. And Benga, he sent me a message over the week, just to send me an update of his progress, and he's doing phenomenally well. Super proud of what he's doing. And he was telling me, look, I appreciate the opportunity you've given to me, because when he was joining, he never knew. It was beyond his wildest imagination that he can actually land a job as a business data analyst. And the pay is very, very good. All right. And this is Maureen. Maureen got a job with TELUS, a telecommunications company in Canada, as a HR data analyst after joining the HR analytics program. All right. So again, Maureen, we got to work with Maureen. She got the job, prepared her for interviews, and so on and so forth. This is Wislin. Wislin currently works with Shell. And just like all the other people, Wislin had never done anything in tech. All right, Wislin joined the program last year, October. We worked with her in the data analytics program. And today, Wislin works with Shell in the UK. I'm sure for those of you in the UK, you would understand what it means to work with Shell in the UK. All right. Again, we had conversations around the recruitment process. I sent her documents for her to prepare. Thank you very much for this. She prepared for them. And eventually she sent me a message telling me she had gotten the job 4 months after completing the course and internship. All right. And she was super excited. And that's Wislin's story. This is Thelma. Thelma also got a job as a HR analyst in Birmingham in the UK after completing our HR analytics program. Olubemi works with the Law Depot in Canada, Edmonton, as a business data analyst after joining the data analytics program. All right. We have so many people that have done phenomenally well. Emeka works with Western Union as a digital analyst in the UK after joining the data analytics. This is another NHS. Uthman, fresh out of the university. I worked with Uthman personally, prepared him for his interview. He's a business intelligence officer. I prepared him for the interview. I wrote his recommendation, his reference to the NHS. And today he's a business intelligence officer with the NHS here in the UK. And that's Uthman, fresh out of the university, had never done anything tech, had never done anything analytics. And today he got a job. All right. This is Idris. Idris works with Jaguar Land Rover in Coventry as a data engineer after completing the full stack data science program. You have Ebube, another NHS. Ebube works with the NHS as a data scientist after joining the full stack data science program. And of course, Ebube was super excited. My first proper job in the UK after Tenalytics training. She shared that message with us. And of course, for a lot of you, you'd understand what that message means. And that's Ebube. She was super excited. And we are also super excited for Ebube. And this is Victor. Victor currently works remotely for Hugo in the US, Chicago, Illinois, as a people operations analyst after joining our HR analytics program. You have Rafiat. Rafiat works as a business analyst with the post office after joining the business analysis program in the post office here in the UK after joining the business analysis program. This is Ubong, works with Cognizant. Cognizant is another major organization that gives sponsorship. All right. If you check the links I shared with you, go to the link, search for the tier 2 sponsors, those that have the license to sponsor. You see Cognizant as one of the companies that gives the highest number of COS. Okay, he joined our full stack data science and data analytics program and works with Cognizant as a data analyst. We have Abdul Rashid. Abdul Rashid works with a company in the US, Chow420. He works remotely as a data scientist after joining the full stack data science program, and so many other success stories. I'm not going to bore you with all the success stories we have. Again, Ifemena mentioned something very key, which is all you need are the skills to apply to the job. Because when you look at the skills and the requirements and you look at your CV, what is the match? By how much do you match the job requirements? That's the first level. The second level is you need people to work with you. Okay, you need mentors. You need people to prepare you for interviews, people that have been there before. You didn't know the type of question they're likely going to get during the interview, and that helps you to prepare. Okay, so again, because of time, we're going to call it a day. All I'll say is there are opportunities available, and Tenalytics would strive to ensure that more people, more Africans, more people of the Black community can get into tech. Okay, and if you have a brother, you have a sister, you have a cousin, you have a colleague, you have a friend that you think this can benefit them, even if you feel, oh, I might not necessarily need this at this point in time, share it with them. Okay, we have so many people that tell us that, look, my life-changing career journey started when my uncle sent me the link to join a free masterclass like this, or when my cousin sent me the link to join the program. Let me tell you something very interesting about Uthman. Uthman was fresh out of the university. He was a student, a bachelor's, an undergraduate student, right? So he had no idea about tech. His elder brother joined our free masterclass. His elder brother joined the free masterclass and then told him that he must register for the program. His elder brother paid for him and he joined the program. Now, how do I know? Or how did I find out? I prepared him for his interview and we had a series of conversations. Okay, you're fresh out of the university. How did you hear about Tenalytics? And he told me, my elder brother joined your free session. He was super impressed. He liked what you guys did, and he registered me for the program. And today, he's a business intelligence officer with the NHS. This is something a lot of people would die for. They're dying to get these similar opportunities. So again, if you feel this will benefit somebody, share it with them and let them get to enjoy and learn something amazing before the end of 2023. Okay, so like I mentioned, we're going to have drop-in sessions across the week. Feel free to join the drop-in sessions. If you're in Ghana, you're asking, how do I pay? Just pay using the Paystack. Click on the Paystack link and make the payment. If you are in Europe, you want to make payments, just go use the PayPal, click on the pounds payment or the Canadian dollars payment and make your payments using PayPal. If you're in Nigeria, you can make payments using Paystack as well, or you do a direct transfer. Once you do that, click on the link to register, upload your proof of payments. Once we confirm that, your journey into tech would get started. And I would love to see all of you join us on the 5th of August, starting your journey into tech, okay? Take advantage of the discount. Don't be one of those people that will come a day on the 4th of August and say, oh, I still want to pay to join the program. Is the discount still available? And then you'd have people begging and saying, oh, please, can I join? I still want to get the discount. Take advantage of the discount now. And most of the time, all you need is just that single step, okay? That's one single step to make that final decision to be a part of the program. Have a wonderful evening. For those of you in the UK, it's 12:40 a.m. If you're in Canada, it's still very early, around 6:40. If you're in Nigeria, it's also very late. But guess what? Today is Sunday. So we are not going anywhere, and have a wonderful weekend. Enjoy, rest, and have an amazing time. I wish you a productive week ahead. Always remember, when you decide to get into tech, Tenalytics is your go-to place. Follow us on Instagram, follow us on LinkedIn, follow us across all our socials on Twitter, on Facebook, and would always share insightful, amazing materials. Free sessions like this would come up from time to time, so you can all get to be a part of it as well. It is 2:40 a.m. in Kuwait. Wow, fantastic. Stephen, thank you for sticking around till this time. And I hope you've learned one or two things today. Have an amazing time, guys. And until we see again some other time, have a wonderful week ahead. And cheers, guys.